Good evening and welcome to Poker Night Live, the award-winning poker show. Yes, we will be rubbing that in as much as we possibly can over the next few months. My name's Michelle, I'm going to be your host for the evening, and this show is about learning the game of poker. If you have a poker set and you don't know how to use it and you would like to learn the game, you've come to the right place. Or if you just need to brush up on your techniques, you've also come to the right place. We are going to be watching internet poker games tonight, and there will be a running commentary over the lot. And to help us with that, we have one of our resident experts tonight, that's Barry, the bully, Martin. Hello,
evening,
Barry.
Michelle. How are you?
Not too bad. Happy Valentine's Day.
You too.
Firstly, I'm very pleased to be working with you on Valentine's Day.
Excellent. Well, hopefully we can have a very interesting evening. And
well, we haven't worked together before, have we?
haven't.
So it's a first for Barry and I.
Let's see if it works, eh?
Yeah, let's see if you've got your poker head on.
I have.
I like the kind of Mohican-y effect
Do you
you've
like
got
it?
going on. Yeah, it's very
grabbing
nice.
onto me youth, you see. That's
Yeah. Well, Barry will be doing a commentary over all of our poker that we watch tonight. It's an interactive show, and if there's anything you would like to ask him throughout the night, if you have any queries or comments about what you've heard and seen, you can get in contact with us. Here's the text number, 62211. And you can also email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. And do make sure you check us out on the World Wide Web, pokernightlive.co.uk. Now tonight we're going to be watching cash games, tournaments, and we will be watching a multi-table tournament a bit later. And it's a first, I think, Barry, because we're going to be watching a rebuy tournament tonight.
A rebuy.
And what's it called? It's the Pro Sharks St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
By Stan James, I believe. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Poker Night Live first.
It is, so hopefully you'll be giving us some insight on that and tricks of the trade, that kind of thing.
Let's see if we can pick up a few rebuy tips along the way.
Well, just to have a little looky at the tables we're going to be watching tonight, Barry, if you wouldn't mind taking us around the little robin.
Of course.
Round the round robin.
So, the lime green table tells us a multi-table tournament, and it's the rebuy, as Michelle said this evening, the Stan James St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Standard here for Poker Night Live, a $2 sit and go. And we have something for the bigger sharks out there, the $30 sit and go. And our final table this evening, a $20 sit and go, full up there, just started.
Excellent. Okay, well, tonight is Valentine's Day. So for me and Barry, firstly, very, very happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Let us know what you're getting up to tonight. We will be looking along a Valentine's Day theme, I think, this evening. So Barry, I'm hoping you're going to come up with something for us to do with the kind of...
Let's look for some heart flushes out there.
Oh, very good. I'm seeing what you did there.
I've been working on that all evening. That's it. My material's gone now.
That's it. It's gone great. Well, we're going to be doing a theme. We always do generally do a theme of the evening, and we are going to base it on Valentine's Day, as it is St. Valentine's Day. So we'll be letting you know exactly what that is. Do remember that text number, 62211. You'll have to excuse me tonight. I was working with Casper the other day, so he's passed all his germs on to me.
Okay.
So I'm going to pass them on to you.
Thank you very
much. It's very friendly here in the Poker Night Live studio. Yeah. Okay, well, to start off the evening, I think multi-table tournament.
Let's have a look at this rebuy spectacular that we've got on Poker Night Live this evening.
You should be able to tell the multi-table tournament because it'll be a nice bright green. So
I think the format, just to let the viewers know this evening, Michelle, it's a $10 rebuy tournament. Not the freeze out as we usually see on the multi-tables, but it's a rebuy. And so within the first hour, you can buy in as many times as you like if you go broke, or you get down to half your stack, which is the rules here. So it's the same as any usual multi-table tournament. Correct. But obviously, usually everyone pays their $10 and they get given a certain amount of chips for that. And when they go broke, usually they drop out. But in this case, which is good because one, it builds the prize pool. Two, it allows you to be a little more aggressive in the early stages because you can start playing your draws, etc. And if you've got some kind of bankroll, you can push the envelope, as it were, a little bit more. So this, I believe we've got 28 entrants tonight in this particular event. The levels are 12 minutes. So that's just over 4 tables. And they're playing paying top three this evening. $420 to first, $252 to second, and $168 to third.
And it cost them $10 for their chips.
$10 for the chips with $10 rebuys for the first hour. This has been, I believe this has been going on for about a couple of hours up to now. So, yeah.
Okay, so if for the first hour, however many times they go bust, they can buy. And did they start with 1,000 chips, or is it 1,200? So they start with 1,000 chips.
1,000 chips.
They can keep going bust, and for the first hour,
every $10 gives them another 1,000 chips.
Okie dokie, but the prize pool doesn't go up.
Oh, the prize pool does.
The prize pool does go up.
Every time you spend the $10, it adds to the prize pool. So it could work out like a $30 or $40 per head type tournament. Depends how loose or tight the particular tournament is.
So are we going to see a difference in play to a normal multi-table tournament?
Well, we've been told that this is actually a couple of hours into it, which I'd like confirmation on because... Oh, sorry, we found out this is from the top. I was going to say, this is delayed. But I was going to say, because if there's a multi-table rebuy, there's not many chips in play. So it'd be good to see someone go broke and then rebuy, etc. Not personally, I don't want to see go broke, but you know what I mean, to see the rebuy situation
we don't wish ill upon our players.
Absolutely not. No bad beats on poker. Well, there are actually quite a lot of bad beats on Poker Night Live, but hey, that's all part of the game.
That's poker for you.
Yep.
Right, so they've all started with 1,000, they've got 1 hour. Now, after that hour is up, does it literally just stop after an hour and then once you're out, you're out?
What they actually do, they tell the players it's going to be 15 seconds before the end of the rebuys, and at that point you can actually have a top-up, which means for an additional however many chips, you may have 55,000 chips or whatever, you can then top up for another $10 for another 1,000 chips. There are some tournaments whereby they allow double top-ups to boost the prize pool, but not in this particular case. It's another $10 for your 1,000 chips.
So it could become quite pricey.
Could be quite. If you're really, really aggressive in the early stages, you could quite easily do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rebuys.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the benefits of a rebuy, I mean, it sounds quite daunting that it could cost you £90, £100 if you keep rebuying for the first hour. It's starting to become expensive to play.
No one forces you to put your chips in, with any old filth. That's not the case. But it allows you to play, slightly more aggressive if you feel that you want to spend 30 or 40. You can look. Nothing stops you sitting down playing like an absolute rock, treating it like a freeze out, and having your 1,000 chips and that's it. But be the end of it. Which, yeah, in some situations, if you find yourself on a very loose table, is not a bad way to play it. But it allows for many different varieties of play. And it's good, first on Poker Night Live, it'd be interesting to see, how the players approach this one.
I'm actually very interested to see this because I generally play freeze out. Obviously, we've been watching the sit and goes as well. We'll be probably going to sit and go earlier, so we'll be able to see the difference there. I will quickly just mention our players on this particular table. We've got Foggy at the top, Marcus and Boone, Trossel, rock hard there on Dom Pierre at the top. Do remember there's 3 or 4 tables all in play at the same time, and they're all playing in exactly the same game.
They are. Same blind levels, they're all counting down at the same time with the same blind limits as well, all playing no limit hold'em.
Okay, well, for our viewers that haven't watched before and are indeed watched for the first time, I do know everything moves a bit quick, but if you wouldn't mind just giving us a lowdown on what's going on and what the structure is here, that would be great.
Okay. Well, basically, in all tournaments that you see when it comes to online and live, you'll have what are called blinds, which are false blinds to the left of the dealer button, which you can see a small white disc there next to Marcus J1 at the moment, which is he's the nominated dealer currently. So one to the left of him, Boone, he would place in a small blind, which is, as you can see at the top of the screen, well, it's just changed. It's now 15.30, the blind. So Boone's now got the button. Trossel has to put 15 in. He has to put them chips in. Rockhard has to put 30 chips in. And that is the minimum bet by any player. So there you got, Don has just flat called there with 30. Marcus, as it's no limit, has made it 120 to play. And, and so on and so forth. And that's how the pots are built in tournament play. The blinds will go up every 12 minutes. From here, it will go to 20, 40, then 50, 100, etc., going on and on and on until one player has all the chips. And that's how...
And that will be the winner.
And that will be the winner who will win, as we said, $420 this evening.
So being no limit poker, you can put in as many chips as you like.
You can. The minimum bet is the big blind. So currently the minimum bet you could make at any of the levels is 30 chips, and the maximum is the amount you've got in front of you.
Actually, I have a question for you. I was playing in a live game the other day, which I'd organised, and I did actually get a little bit confused at this, so I'll ask you while I remember.
Yeah.
As we saw there, Don Piero had made a bet of 120.
Yep.
Now it comes to Foggy.
Yep.
If Foggy wants to raise,
Yep.
can he raise it to 180 because the big blind's 30, or does he have
No.
to double the previous raise?
Exactly. The bet, whoever starts the betting off, say Don bets 100. The next bet, if you want to raise, it has to be double that bet.
Right.
Now, the only time that doesn't apply, the equal bet, is when, say, the blinds are 15, 30. Foggy now makes it 60. Now, the raise is only 30 because it's 30 plus 30. Now, it could come round to Boone and he could make it now 90 because it's 30 plus 30 plus 30. But
so he wouldn't have to win 180?
No, it wouldn't work like that. So it's double the raise, okay? So if someone's bet out 100, the next bet if you want to raise is 200. But the next raise after that, you can make it now 300 because it's 100 raise. So you have to make it the minimum raise.
Minimum raise of the bet before.
Correct.
Ah, okie dokie. Right, so we've got 4 betting rounds.
Yep.
Before the flop, after the turn and after the river.
Correct.
And each round, all bets have to be equal before we move on.
Yep.
And the idea is...
Unless someone's got a shorter stack, whereby if there's 3 players in a pot and someone's got a lesser stack, then a side pot is created, and then the 2 other players with more chips will carry on in that vein.
Yes, it starts to get very confusing with side pots,
It does,
doesn't it?
but the nice thing about online poker is you don't have to work it out. It's all done for you. You know, that's a nice thing. It's not like going to someone's home game and you're all novices and let's play some poker.
You've got to work out what everyone's winning.
Yeah.
Been there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the computer does everything for you, and you can only win off your opponents what you have in front of you.
Correct.
Oh, okie dokie. Well, we will be carrying on watching that multi-table tournament throughout the evening, so we'll be able to look at them players and see how they progress through the 2 hours that the tournament will be on for. I think we're going to go over to a sit and go, though, actually.
Sounds good.
$20 sit and go, so we'll be able to see the
$20.
difference here slightly. So it's exactly the same game, played in exactly the same way, but this is a freeze-out, so
Correct.
that means...
So this is a $20 version of a sit and go, and when we say sit and go, we actually mean that there's 1 table in play, and that's it. And as we said, it's a freeze-out, which means you get 1,000 chips, and that's all you get. Once you lose your 1,000 chips, you get moved away from the table, and the rest of the players play on until one player has all 8,000 chips.
So due to the death.
Indeed. Now, unlike the multi-table tournament where the blinds went up every 12 minutes, the blinds go up every so many hands. I think it's 12 hands.
I think 10 hands
10
in these
hands
ones.
in the $20, yeah. So that's the sit and go for you. Very straightforward, very simple, and always good fun to watch on Poker Night Live.
They are. I like these actually as well. For our players out there that are learning, it's a very good way of watching the structure of how it works. Here we have our leaderboards. This is telling us who's actually ahead at the moment and who isn't. We can see that Ghost Zapper at the top has 1,420 chips. Dan Gan there only has 720. Now, not a huge space between them at the moment, but Dan Gan, even though he's still got a lot of blinds left in his stack, he does have to worry that he does have the least amount of chips at this stage of the game. And there's a lot of play left at the moment, so he doesn't need to worry too much. He can come back from his last place position. So obviously the first decision our guys have to make is what cards am I going to play with and how much am I going to pay to see the next round.
Yep, the 2 most important decisions in No Limit Hold'em are your starting hand and what your betting size is going to be. If at all, one of the most powerful plays in No Limit Hold'em is the fold.
The fold.
The fold. Vastly underrated, but a very powerful play. You can't go broke if you fold.
This is very true. And with the fold, it's for beginners especially, it's very difficult to get away from hands sometimes, isn't it? And we do get a lot of emails about this as well. People saying they've put a lot of money into the pot, they've got a good strong hand, and they want to stick with it. And especially things like aces and kings. But I suppose the thing you have to remember is even if you do have a pair of aces or a pair of kings, it still is only one pair.
It is.
So you have to change the perspective of your hand every hand, every round, if you like.
Absolutely, you do. And, that's the great thing. That's why poker is, a universal game now. Anyone can play it. It takes, I know it's a coined phrase, but it's absolutely true. It takes, a very short time to learn, but a lifetime to master.
Have you mastered it yet, Barry?
No. And you know what? Whenever I think I've mastered it, it comes back and slaps me in the face and, dishes out a bad beat, or, you get a little cocky over the whole thing and, it comes back to bite you. So it's a good game. It mirrors life in a number of ways, Michelle. It has its ups, has its downs. It can be rewarding. It can be, you know, difficult at times, but it's, you know, it's a great game to play. It's
very fun, and it's a very social game to play as well. Obviously on the internet it isn't as much, but even so, I find on the internet you have chat boxes, and I make lots of friends and get into banters with people, and I really enjoy it. And the live game is especially good. You know, you can have lots of fun.
Well, you put in a great performance in the ladies' event, which I was fortunate enough to commentate on.
Yeah, I know you did. I think you were quite nice to me, actually. I think I have to say thank you for not being mean.
No. Look, the whole idea, you know, Poker Bowl is a great concept from Poker Zone, and I'm sure many of our viewers have seen, you know, the women's tournament that was there. And you had some good players in there. You had Tiffany, you had Sarah Bilney, you had Sue Jones as well. They all can play, you know. And you acquitted yourself very well for someone who hasn't played a lot of live poker.
That was my first ever live poker game on the telly. I like to jump in right at the deep end there.
Indeed.
But you know, I had the doc, and you know, Casper and Banning and Mark and everybody. Banning and Mark Banning, that would be, and Nick, and everyone giving me advice before I went on. It's hilarious because obviously I have the best tuition here on Poker Night Live. I have a range of extremely good players giving me different techniques, you know, every day. So I should be able to play, you would think.
It's not that easy.
It's not, is it?
You can read as many books as you like. You can listen to Poker Night Live day in, day out, but there is no substitute for
play.
Purely sitting down at a table and playing hand after hand after hand. And like most things in life, practice does make perfect.
Definitely. And it's good as well because you start to learn what doing particular things with particular hands will do for you. And you start working out, right, if I do this with this hand, this is a good thing and it works well. And whereas if I do this with this hand, it's not so good. And it's learning the values of the hands. And
the values are very important, but you'll start to learn the finesses of the game as it goes on. When to bet, how much to bet. Working out, you know, the players at your table, trying to read them, understand what they play like. Are they on tilt? Are they very aggressive? Are they stealing my blind? Etc. 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 Now, I'm not trying to confuse anyone out there, but that's why poker is such a great game, because it is multifaceted. So you always got something to learn.
No, you're still learning today,
Absolutely.
Barry.
I'll sit down, you know, I'll sit down at a poker table and I'm still learning about other players, how they play certain cards in certain positions and how much they bet, why did they bet that much, why did he cough, why did he smile at me, you know, why has he turned away. These kind of things you learn about your players and opponents and yourself, you know. It teaches things about yourself as well.
And how long have you been playing?
A long time. I started playing, my first actually poker game, I was 7 years old. I played 5-card draw. My dad used to run a poker school.
Oh, wow.
A few friends who used to come around, used to play 5-card draw, played a few times, and I played poker ever since. So, you know.
He's not giving away anything, ladies and gentlemen. I was trying to sneak his age out of him there.
I said I was young. I didn't say how long ago it was. It was a while ago. It's the hair, you see, it puts you off, you see. You're not quite sure. It's just this, you know, Mr. Browning was giving me some grief last night over it, but he's just jealous because he's going bald, so.
A little bit shiny on top, bless him. Borrows my powder, you know, he dabs it on.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Right, look, let's have a bit of fun, you know. Who do you fancy who's going to win this one, Michelle?
Well, on this particular table?
Yeah,
right,
I'd say last night,
just
do a...
Right, okay, now I could go for Johan Haran being...
Well, you know...
Being one of our regulars.
Last night, we watched Johan Haran in two sit-and-goes, and he won both. He actually emailed us later on to say that he actually won the third one that we didn't see. So he was three
in a row.
3 for 3 last night, so it's absolutely perfect. Oh, look, there's the leaderboard.
So if you think about yin and yang, karma...
Sorry, the studio, I've got to look at it like this. And there's the leaderboard, ladies and... Oh, no, it's not. It's the pre-flop folds, ladies and gentlemen. Johan Haran playing the tightest at the moment. There you go.
And what about Dangan down there? 55%.
Thanks for that, studio. Just put me right in it straight away. Anyway, who are you going to pick? You're going to pick Johan?
OK, do you know what? No, because he won 3 in a row yesterday, so he's due for a loss.
Mate,
I'm not going to...
That's very positive.
I'm going to go for Ghost Zapper. Because I like the name.
Not because he's chip leader?
Not because, nothing to do with the fact that he's chip leader at all.
OK. All right. Well, let's have a look. Because
he's a Ghostbuster.
OK, because it's Valentine's Day, I'm going to go someone with Valentine he can't name. King Whip.
King Whip. OK, I'm not going to ask you about your dates on Valentine's Day then.
Yeah. My missus will be emailing in. Right. So King Whip against Johan Haran.
No, so you're going for King Whip.
I am.
And I'm going for Ghost Sapper. And Johan Haran's our big winner.
He is. You know what? He's Very, very consistent, very solid player, knows what he's doing, does very well in these sit and goes.
He does. Okay, well, let's have a look at the hands these guys are playing with.
Just before we get away from Johan, never a bad thing in all walks of life, but especially when watching Poker Night Live, watch the good players. Find out what they do. Understand why they're making these particular moves at certain times. And, you know, it's good to learn from players that are better than you.
Torskus, another good player on some of our higher tables.
Yep, very good player. Hoofy as well, very consistent. I like watching Hoofy.
Hoofy, yeah. He's a good one. Snap It as well, one of our regulars.
Yeah. There's some good. There's some, you know, there's some good, and they're getting better. You know, you watch these players and they improve over time. Interesting. Both missed here. I think Matt has raised pre-flop with Johan calling with Queen Jack.
Okay, now what are the benefits of the pre-flop raise?
To try and knock out other players with lesser hands, especially when you have you know, premium holdings like Matt has here with Ace King. Always nice to see the king on the river as well. Unfortunately, he's not found Johan with any type of hand that he can call a bet with.
So if you make the raise pre-flop and people are coming in with you, when the cards come out, you can think, right, okay, well, I have raised before the flop. So this guy probably hasn't got rubbish in his hand. He probably does have high cards or a decent pair.
Possibly. It could be a bit of a curveball. You know, you may not have a decent starting hand whereby you're making a bit of a play, which you'll see with some of the players, especially when the blinds get bigger in these sit and goes, whereby you have to make moves in late position. When I say late position, I mean as you get closer to the button, which is the little white disc there with a D in it, as you get closer, the chances of you running to a big hand as the action goes round is greatly reduced. Unfortunately for King Whip, my man, he's run into I think he may run into King Shan here with the Ace Queen, and he's dominated quite badly.
A couple of clubs would help him. Well,
yeah, that's hoping. That is hoping big time. But they both missed. Let's see if aggression wins and see if King Whip can muster a big bet. They may do it though. He's put a fair sized bet in whereby it's going to be half of Big Shan's stack. And when you've missed with Ace Queen facing a bet, it's not something you want to see on a regular basis. The problem here, Michelle, is he actually. Oh, look at this. Nice move.
That's a big raise there, all in.
Well, the thing about the raise, it's an interesting raise.
And it's been called.
Well, unfortunately, it was only another 300 for King Whip to call. Even though he may have put Big Shan on the hand, he was valued into the pot. Now, poor old King Whip is now crippled, my man, as 450 chips. Which is
why would he risk so many of his chips, though, when, if you look at it, he only had ace high?
He's made a play with a board. He's first to speak. When I say first to speak, he's first to act because Big Shan was on the button. So King Whip has thinking to himself, OK, the guy's called my raise. I'm going to now make a play, even though I've missed with ace 10. Hopefully, he can't call my bet. And he put half of the amount that Big Shan has actually in front of him. But Big Shan decided that his ace queen may have been good, or he was looking to hit. He pushed in. Unfortunately for King Whip, it's only another 300 more. So he's pretty much priced into the pot, even though he may be in bad shape. So that was a problem for him.
I mean, it seemed, to be honest, that both plays there, from what I've learned of the game, both of them seemed bad plays. I mean, from Big Shan, it seemed like it was a blatant bluff, as he only had ace high.
Well,
he didn't seem to have any outs other than hoping to hit one of his cards. He had no idea what the other guy had.
No, he
could have easily been beaten.
Yep, he could have been. He could have been facing, you know, a big overpair or something. He could have been facing a very big overpair, or maybe, you know, a ace king or something like this.
I mean, do you need to hope to do these things every now and then? I mean, bear in mind, like we were talking about earlier, it's due to the death. So once he's out, he's out. He's risking his whole tournament life by going all in with two overcards. Mm-hmm. Is this something that you need to be able to do every now and then to move forward in a tournament?
Definitely, you need to be able to make these moves, you know, to acquire chips. Now, there are some schools of thought that tell you that you don't really need to make too many moves early on in these tournaments because the blinds are so low, in the sit and goes especially. But as I say, it was an interesting situation with King Whip and Big Shan there. Both were, you know, interesting plays that were creative, I would say. Creative.
Good word.
I'm being nice to him. Unfortunately, King Whip now has limped with the ace-9 and has found himself in a world of hurt here against Johan Haren with the bullets.
Ghost Zapper there, having a little think about it. Let's just play this hand out, and then we'll hopefully be able to pop
It's
over
the minimum
to,
raise. He's priced him in, and hoping that King Whip now wants to get busy with his ace-9. They're both pretty short though, 420, 580. I think Johan's going to have to bet this now. Yeah.
Let's have a look at how King Whip responds here. Bear in mind, he still doesn't have a hand. His hand is ace high. So he's got to start worrying about how many chips he's got left and is it worth it at this stage, and he decides it's not.
No.
Okay, well, we're going to head back to our multi-table tournament quickly, just to see how it's going over there. There we are. As Money to Mama has the nuts flush. It's always nice.
Always very nice. The nut flush, but not the nuts. With a paired board.
Yep.
But still a nice position to be in against someone with 4 deuce.
He's not going to get paid, is the unfortunate thing there.
No, he's hoping to find someone with a bare queen, or, you know, something is going to get paid off.
So as we're playing each hand, each round, every new card that comes out, we're trying to work out what we've got and what our opponent could have.
Yep.
So what elements do we need to be looking at here to try and work out where we stand to our opponents?
You've got a number of things that you've got to work out. First off is, you know, looking at the player's chip stack. Also looking at their history. How long you've been playing with them? Do you know them from the past? What have they played like in the last few hands, last hour or so, or however long they've been sitting at your table? So you've got all that historical data you can look at and use as a reference point. Position on the table as well. Whereabouts they're sitting? Are they in late position? Have they raised? How much have they raised against the big blind? These are all things you have to take into consideration when you're looking at you know, players and how they're playing.
Do remember, by the way, if you do have any questions for us, or for Barry, sorry, and me, I might be able to help you out along the line somewhere, you never know. You can text us, 62211, and do remember the email, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. So what are we looking for tonight, Barry? It's got to be Valentine's Day, poker-related type.
Yeah.
Question we can have. It's very difficult, actually. I can't think of anything like
the barrel here,
Valentine's Day
Michelle,
poker.
The only thing I've used my best line, which is, you know, hearts. Something to do with hearts and heart flushes. Let's look out for heart flushes this evening. Let's find out.
Yeah, let's look out for heart flushes, and if you can think of anything better, do let us know.
yeah. We may be waiting a while though, because flushes are hard to find at the best of times.
A lot of you are out having romantic meals. Hopefully, or maybe even cooking yourself.
Could have come back now, a couple of glasses of wine, watching Poker Night Live.
Poker?
Chilling out. I'm sure
So there's an innuendo in there somewhere.
I'm sure. Let's not go there, shall we?
Let's not, no.
Because as we repeated 4 times during the day, there's no watershed with Poker Night Live anymore.
I know, we repeated all over the place, aren't we?
Yes.
It's lovely. So just get in your little Valentine's Day messages for us, and any kind of poker-related to-doings, do get them into us. 62211. And anecdotes, we want to hear Valentine/poker anecdotes, please.
I like the move there. Have you done karate? The slash.
I did to see me.
Shelley wasn't in vision there. So it's quite dangerous, actually.
Blatantly stolen that off Ant and Deck. Slash.
Really? I don't watch them, actually.
Oh, do you
a big fan?
Very funny. Do you know what? If I could pick some people to go out for the night, I think they'd make me laugh. Although Nick and Cass, you know, it's a hard one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Although they're slightly taller, Nick and Cass, than Ant and Deck.
Yeah, Nick's slightly taller than Ant and Deck.
Oh dear. If you're listening, Cass, that wasn't me. Okay.
Cass, those are lovely.
Yeah.
Right, so Ghost Zappers, he's about the same actually. He doesn't seem to be playing very much. He's hanging around the same.
Oh yeah, you went for Ghost Zappers. I said Johan Haren. You didn't pick Johan Haren, did you?
No, look at your one, Mr. King Whip there.
Yes. I know. He made the play with the ace 10.
With his, I'm going to call
he's
you
still
all
there.
in with
Look,
ace 10.
the blinds are only 81.60. He's not got much time actually looking at the situation. Now, look, for any beginners out there and you know, newbies to the game of poker, you have to take into consideration how many chips you have against the blinds that come around. Now, look, the blinds are like death and taxes. They're coming round. They're going to be approaching you very shortly. So King Whip, being the short stack at the table, well, was the short stack at the table until these two boys got very busy with deuces and king 5, which Dangan has hit. Ah, 2 pair. Only a deuce now for B-Day Light. And no good. So, Dangan doubles up. King 5, that was definitely pushing the envelope. Anyway, going back to having to make a move. King Whip's in a bit of a predicament here. Look, interesting graph here. The stats tell us that this is kind of the aggressometer. This is the amount of hands that a poker player has been playing up to now. So if you look at King Whip, 37%. So he's been involved in over a third of the hands involved. Is that too loose? Possibly. Maybe that's why he's only got 420 chips and not a great choice on my behalf. So anyway, I think he's made a move here. Yep, I can just see in the background he's moved in with the Jack 10, and your man's called him with 3-9 of hearts. Excellent. Obviously got the Valentine's flavour with 3-9 hearts suited.
Yep.
And my man's made the Broadway straight with the Jack 10, and he's doubled up. He's back with us, and he's got more chips than Go Sapper.
So what's Go Sapper thinking there? Why he didn't actually have anything?
It was obviously. He obviously felt he had some chips, and he thought 3-9 of hearts, feeling a bit Valentine-ish, He thought
it has to be.
I could get busy here and stick it. Cool. King Whip's all in with Jack 10. He was short. He had to make a move, but.
I mean, let's be honest with our
9-3.
guys. Yeah, let's be honest with our guys that are watching this and trying to work out how they should be playing. If there's aces on the board, if somebody's made a bet. You're thinking about calling them. You're not trying to push them off because you haven't raised. You're just going to call them. You're quite happy just to put chips in the middle. And you don't even have one pair, except for the pair of aces, which is on the board. And your next best card is a 9. I mean, this surely isn't the play to be doing.
Unfortunately for Go Sapper, it got even worse because he's called King Whip all in on the flop, pre-flop. So, and he's made a very strange play here. He's found himself in the small blind, being short now after this situation, and he's not even raised with the 4s. He's just flat called, which unless you hit a 4, you're gonna find yourself facing a very scary flop, whatever comes. Because very rarely you're gonna see a flop of 2-3-3 or 2-2-3 or a flop under 4s. There's always gonna be some scare cards out there. So without raising with the 4s, I believe was a mistake. Now he may have got a call with King Whip with Ace 9, but.
Okay, well, me and my dad actually have different opinions here because all pairs my dad tends to raise before the flop. He's trying to get rid of people with small to medium pairs so he can just take down the blinds. But I, on the other hand, tend to limp. And then if it gets too expensive, leave. I'd
prefer the limp method, I must say, because you're not risking a lot of chips if you get someone wants to raise you. Now it can be deemed as a little weak, but it's a safe play to make when you're limping. It depends if your pop's raising with 2s and 3s in early position. When I say early position, I mean one of the first positions to act after the big blind. Then that's.
I just so many times, so many occasions. If you've got 4s, 5s, 6s, even on so many occasions, when that flop comes out, you can have overcards and you're not going to hit your 3rd card.
No. You're 8-1 or so to hit a set on the flop.
And somebody that's coming with you with a higher card could easily have hit. You don't know where you are. It's very difficult. I mean, you can obviously, if you've raised, especially if you've raised. I mean, the way my dad looks at it, if you do raise pre-flop, you've then got the upper hand. You've got the people see you as having something good in your card, so you can then make the bet on the flop and try and use strength on your side.
But if you're in early position, you're usually going to be out of position anyway to a caller behind you, so you're going to have to act first. And as I said, it's rare that you're going to hit your set on the flop. So you're going to have to play, you're going to have to play out of position to overcards on a flop when you've got a small pair, which is not something you see. In poker, you want to give yourself easy decisions to make on a regular basis. If you can keep doing that in poker, then you're playing the game correctly. If you're having to be very, very creative on a regular basis, it makes it very difficult.
Oh, look at this. This is nice.
So it's a flush.
It's a flush. There it is. Dangan, I'm assuming this must be Dangan's best hand.
Excellent. This is always good to know.
This is my theory.
Yeah. And it's good to have a little bit of a lead in before we get the best hand flushes. But
never seen that before. It's a nice little surprise for us.
Unfortunately, it wasn't hearts. It was in clubs,
wasn't hearts,
which is a bit of a shame, but hey, there you go.
We will see some heart flashes, I'm sure, throughout the night.
Possibly. I think we have to see one heart flush.
You would think, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
We'll look out for it.
Although, to be honest, we've only got, what, an hour and 25 minutes left of Valentine's Day. So, I suppose we've only really got that amount of time left before we can see a heart flush and it's relevant.
Yeah, this is true. I'm sure. I think it will come.
My man, he's played it superbly there with the Jack 10. River to Jack, cleans out Matt 33, and he's...
Look at him go!
I don't mean to like, you know,
Do you
rub
know
it
something
in,
I don't?
but my King Whip man is now chip leader by quite a way.
That's all right.
We were
You see,
talking
Go
earlier,
Sapper's
Michelle,
gonna-
and there was a guy next to Johan Haren who had ace queen. He's lumped it all in. King Whip's called with the jacks, and he's missed. And King Whip won a nice pot there a little earlier, which we didn't see.
Go Sapper, what are you doing? I hope you can hear me. You'll be able to hear me in about 7 minutes because we are delayed, obviously. We don't want our guys to stick a TV next to their computer and see everybody else's hands because that would be cheating.
Would be no fun at all.
And it wouldn't be fun.
That was an interesting matchup. Johan Haren lumping in with Jack 3 and finding himself in front when the chips go in, which is very strange.
There's some strange play going on
There
this. So
is.
maybe some people have been drinking some wine and...
Maybe.
Let's see if it gets any better.
Okay, ace 9 under the gun. When I say under the gun, I mean the first to speak. And that's very hopeful. Very hopeful from King Whip with ace 9 under the gun.
Ace
And
Jack
your main
there.
Go Sapper's in really good shape here if he musters up the call. And he musters up a raise. Good man. And King Whip calls in a flash. So that's a three-way
He's
pot here.
got the money to take him
Mr.
down.
Perfect in for a very small side pot. But it's no good, and Go Sapper is now back in the game with
There you go, up he
1700.
comes, he can
did he
hear
queen?
me.
Oh, he had a queen, didn't he, Mr. Purvis? So he's back with his 30. So, yeah. Ace Jack again.
So we've got
There's some
6
odd play,
people
there's
left.
some very odd play going on, Michelle, I must say. It must be Valentine's Day. It must be the... something in the air.
5-9. See, that's...
The Dolly Parton.
Is it?
9 to 5.
Oh,
The film.
yes, very good. What about the Ace Jack? What's that?
Ace Jack.
That's great, Barry. Well
I'm
done.
sorry, I haven't got a name for Ace Jack, okay? I've got names for a lot of hands, but Ace Jack is not one of them.
Ace Jack. How is this
Fact.
rated as a hand?
Me, again, all depends on position, you know, where you are, the chips you have. In early position, I don't like Ace Jack in a full 9 or 10-handed game. Not my idea of fun.
No.
But he's in the small blind, you know. It's a good hand in the small blind against, you know, 2 random cards. Why not?
Well, this is a little board, and this tells us when players are folding. And we can see how many hands they've been dealt. Although, how come, for instance, Matt, it's only, I suppose he must have gone out
Yes.
at 38 hands, yep.
So I suppose this is telling us, you know, how again, it's how tight they're playing and how aggressive they're playing in reference to their stack. So, Johan, our big winner from last night, does not escape. The Ace Jack is good. So you mentioned about Ace Jack, and you know,
And it pulled through.
it does the job. Queen Jack against Ace Jack, very dominated. So we've got a couple of short stacks over here in Dangan and Mr. Perfect, all in. See if Big Shan can muster a call. He must do, because there's only another 80 chips to him, and he's getting the odds to call. And he passes. Wow.
Well, Mr. Perfect's hit 2 pair. He's hanging on in there with these 30 chips, isn't he?
He is. He's now up to 350. He's done the Houdini-like situation for him.
And now Dangan's got some work to do. Although, they split that. 6-7 now, small blind. Mr. Perfect's all in with only 90 on the big blind. So does this mean that if it's only Dangan and Mr. Perfect in here, does Dangan get 70 chips back?
Does Dangan get 70 chips
If,
back?
if the other 2
Yes.
didn't come into play?
Yeah.
So he would. Because Mr. Perfect can only win off him what he's got in
Yeah.
front of him.
But King Whip now lumping it in with the 10s. I don't think Big Shan can call with King Queen. It's not a good hand to be taking an all-in raise, especially when you're up against a guy that's got you pretty closely covered. So King Whip can now take 2 players out in one foul swoop if he misses a number of cards, and that's not one of them. So Mr. Perfect stays with us once again.
No, he doesn't. He's only got one
Oh
pair
no,
of
the three.
threes.
Sorry, I apologise. I forgot he had 10s. Yeah.
Oh, so we lost 2. So we have the bubble's
In
gone.
the
These
money.
3 are in the
Look,
money.
We've got both our players make the money, which is always good.
See, we know what we're talking about.
Just
About.
Just about.
Look, I told you Yogan would go out.
Yep. Let's have a look. Oh, Ace Jack. Of course, it's called Blackjack. That's what it's called.
Oh,
So I had a quick search on a site that I know of, and it's called Blackjack, or Ajax, or Ajax maybe, probably Ajax. So there you go.
Why is it called blackjack?
Because it's 21, I suppose, in blackjack.
Oh, of course it is.
But then again, so is Ace Queen.
So is Ace Queen, Ace King.
But I prefer Ace Queen as Little Slick. So.
Little Slick. I
Little
actually haven't
Slick.
heard that before.
Not really. Okay. We've got Big Slick
Big
and Ace
Slick,
King,
yeah.
Little Slick and Ace Queen.
See, you work with Barry and you learn with Barry.
It's a plethora of useless information.
It is. Well, look, my man's all in.
Oh, he's made a good move. Queen Jack, why not?
Go on, go Sapper.
Why not?
Since you listened to me, having to go at you earlier for your 9-6 move.
Well, look at this. King 3, King 3, King Queen.
Yeah, well put down, Ghosty. Didn't need to do it quite then, did you? So obviously in tournaments we see people going all in
Yep.
when it gets to this stage of a game. As is quite a natural thing to do in the latter stages of a tournament.
Well, look at the blinds. 163.20, which means that every round you're going to be putting in 480 chips, which is basically Ghost Sapper's only got a couple of rounds left in his stack, you have to make moves. You know, at this stage, you have to get your chips in the middle, and you'll see that good sit and go and tournament players in general, the winners are usually the most aggressive players, or selectively aggressive. You'll hear on more than one occasion from a lot of the commentators on Poker Night Live, tight aggressive is the way to play.
So by tight we mean not playing that many hands.
Not playing that many hands, but when you play a hand, you play it very strong, you play it very hard. And
More
you force the
raising
issue.
than calling. Maybe?
Absolutely, calling is not something I would agree to unless you're trapping someone with the nuts or you know, a very, very big hand. But no limit hold'em especially is a raising or a folding game. That's it, simple as that.
And it's as a learner you tend to call so
Sapper's
much
gone
more.
Sorry.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was a bit of a bad beat actually. I don't know if we can quickly rewind that hand, but he's made the straight there.
I wasn't
whip,
looking.
which
What
was nice.
happened?
No, he made a straight with his 7 and knocked out Ghosty, and unfortunately now it's heads up between King Whip and
dear.
Big Shan.
Well, I come third.
You made the money,
I did make the money.
not to be knocked.
It's not
My
bad.
dad said to me once, if you make a profit, you can't go broke.
No, that's true.
It's true.
Very wise. But you're going to win now, aren't you, Mr. King Whip?
Well, he's in good shape as long as he has a heart flush. Could he hit the heart for Valentine's?
Oh,
No.
it doesn't count. We need to see the ace
King
as
Whip
well. The ace
takes
of
it
hearts
down with
flush.
Queen High.
Oh, so King Whip wins. Look, he wins the tournament. That's about $40, I think.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah. Was it a 20? No, it was a $20. So that's $80.
Oh, was it $20? Yes, that's
$80.
$80. Well, look, here's a chip movement graph, Barry.
There's quite a lot going on there, isn't there?
It's beautiful. It's an array of different rainbow-like colours.
Yes. I tell you what's interesting to see, that at the start there, they've all got the same amount, and at the end, my man's got all the chips.
That's really interesting.
There's a pattern emerged somewhere.
You can see my man in the red just kind of dip right at the end there.
I like the array of colours. It's really well
lovely,
depicted,
isn't it?
and we could actually have spoke about that for at least 9 minutes.
We
but
could
didn't
have, but we've
to.
decided not to because we do have some emails to
Do
do.
we?
So we'll do those.
Let's crack on.
First one, I'm going to do it. It's from John Belcher. He says, shall I do it? Well, yeah, it's a normal question. He says, I like getting it all in from behind as I always seem to pull through. However, can you tell me how I should change gears?
Interesting. Is it a Valentine's Day question? Well, John,
I'd say I'm very
change
quickly
gears.
with that.
Actually, I know John, and John only plays one way. That's at about 98th gear. So, is there any other gear, John? I don't know. Keep playing the way you do, sir. You play a fine game, and happy Valentine's.
That was very well done, Barry, and I'm very impressed. We have an email here from Stamper. He's from LA. Good evening to you, Stamper. I could do with going over to LA at the moment. How's it going over there? Is it hot? He says, hey guys, I noticed that a lot of online poker sites have little text boxes where you can jot down notes about your opponents. Do you find them useful? And if so, what do you do with them?
Well, very interesting, because most of the online sites now have notes section whereby you can take, he's a lunatic, or, he's a rock and he plays late position very aggressively, etc., etc. But there are also some tools out there now, like things like Poker Tracker, Poker Office, etc., etc., whereby you can collect a lot of this information, and it builds up information by putting hand histories into this. And these tools, if you're an avid and irregular online player, I would suggest that these kind of tools are something you really want to have a good look at. The kind of poker diary systems that there are. And there is, as I say, there are loads and loads on there. So go to Google or one of the search engines, type in, poker hand analysis or poker diary, etc., and you'll see and find loads of things out there to try and help your online game. So I would suggest trying that out, Stamper. And thanks for the email, by the way.
See, in my text boxes, I tend to have things like, really nice guy, spoke to him for quite a while, and the other one said, don't like this guy, took all my chips, make sure you get revenge.
Okay.
Pretty sure that's not what they're actually meant to be used for.
Not really, but hey, look, you don't play professionally, Michelle, you do it for fun, and that's the whole idea.
Yeah, and it is good fun, it's a good giggle. Right, text here from Simon, he says, Dear Barry, how did you get your nickname The Bully? Actually, I don't know this, so yeah.
Well,
interesting.
There was one particular night when I was playing in a home game, and I wasn't actually counting, but I raised 37 pots in a row, and people were saying, "Oh, you bully, you bully, you bully," and actually I won like well over half of the pots, and I was only having some fun. It was a home game. The blinds were 25p, 50p, and it was like raise, and that was it. And it's kind of stuck ever since, And
are you a bully?
Not really. I play. Look,
you
I
don't
play
come
very.
across like a bully to me.
No, I play a very aggressive poker game. That's my style. I play very aggressively. I like to play my angles, and if I smell and see weakness, I'll take advantage of it. If that's a bully, then I am a bully. But I just like to try and use every poker facility there is out there, and if that means pushing the envelope as much as I possibly can, I'll do so.
Come on, Barry, be honest. Have you ever flushed Nick Wethell's head down the toilet?
No, although his hair does look like it occasionally. And I think it was full of bleach because he's got this slight although I shouldn't really comment on hair, should I, with my current situation?
I like the punk rock kind of Mohican thing going on.
I'm not much of a...
Have you got highlights as well?
I have got highlights. Hides the grey, you see.
Do you have just for men?
No.
No?
I go to a hairdresser. My missus books me in, I go to a hairdresser and she...
Do you have the cap?
No,
or do you have foils?
Foils. I'm a foil man. This is totally... One minute I'm saying I'm the bully, next minute I'm going to a hairdresser with foil on my hair and having highlights. This is outrageous.
Yeah, should we move on? I've got an email from Andy. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Andy. He says, hi guys and girls, great show as always. I've got a question regarding the difference between betting as a semi-bluff or checking to get a free card when you are last to act. I think I've read somewhere that you should bet when you have no connection to the flop, but check to get a free card when you have a big draw. For example, you have King Jack in the big blind. It gets folded to the small blind, who raises, say, 3 times the big blind, and you call. The flop is Ace 10-4, rainbow. So he's talking about all 3 different colours of the pack, if you like, offering you a gut shot to the straight, and the small blind checks to you. Without any particular reads on the small blind, should you bet or check? I would be happy to win the pot right there with a bet, but if I'm getting re-raised and must lay down my gut shot draw, I would be equivalently unhappy. What if small blind is known to be a decent, tight, aggressive player? What if he is loose aggressive or any other combination? And thanks for a great show. So he's given us quite a lot of information there. Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Here, I mean, the gut shot draw, it's someone that's going to come as often as it should.
Well, gut shot draw is not much of a draw, really. You're hoping for I think it's the queen there that he says in his email, which you've got 4 outs twice, so it's a pretty big dog to try and hit your queen. So the semi-bluff is not really about what hand you have. You can make that with 2, 3, or any old filth in your hand. It's about making the play. It gives you 2 options. You now can win the hand by hitting your queen, which is an option, or secondly, by betting, you can make the opponent fold. Now, by just checking it, the opponent's obviously not going to fold because there's nothing for him to see the turn. So the semi-bluff, you have to be pretty sure that the player's going to lay a hand down if you're going to make that semi-bluff move. The nice thing about the semi-bluff as opposed to the bluff is you have got outs. You have got a queen if you do get caught with your trousers down, and if you make too much of a big raise that you can't get away with in a tournament, for instance, or you're maybe chasing a flush draw down it. So there are times and places for semi-bluffs. And you have to really have a decent read on what's going on at your table to make the particular play. So, decent tight aggressive player, maybe the move will work. Loose aggressive, difficult. Maybe he's caught a piece of it. Maybe he has a 10 in his hand and he fancies you for a bluff. The way to look at it as well is, what do the players think about you? Do they put you down as a tight aggressive player? Do they put you down as an absolute rock? If they think of you as a rock, the semi-bluff play will work more than not. If they have you down as a loose aggressive player that making these kind of plays, it's not going to work too often, especially if these players know you. So with them kind of things in mind, hopefully it's going to give you a bit more information of when to semi-bluff, when to bluff, and when to just try and see a free card on the turn.
This is a good point, actually. We talk about how you should be perceived at the poker table when you're playing, and obviously you've got tight players, you've got loose players, aggressive, passive players. Now, if you do take a style upon yourself, which generally people do, they find a way they enjoy playing and they find profitable. But if you do stick to the same style and you are a particular player, the people you're playing are going to see that that's the type of player you are.
Yep.
So you do have to be constantly changing gears and changing the way you play.
It's a difficult one because you always need to be introspective about, it's a big word for Valentine's Day, introspective about what people think of you. It'd be nice to have a mirror of what's going on about what people think of you and try and get in the minds of the other players. Now, I try and play to exactly the opposite of what people think I'm going to play like, or what the table's playing like in general. So if I sit down and it's an absolute rock table, I know I can now make plays that I probably wouldn't do if the table was a little tougher. Now, if I get on the table and they're playing ultra loose, ultra aggressive, making loads of moves, I'm going to sit back a bit more, I'm going to change down the gears, I'm going to wait for my premium hands, I know I'm going to get paid and I'm going to get action with them. Now, it's sometimes difficult when you sit down at a table, you've got 2 or 3 rock players, a couple of, maybe a bit tighter aggressive, and you've got a couple of loose players. Now you've got to adjust your play to the people that are now in the pot. So you know that you're on the button, the small and big blind are quite tight, you can now make a move on their blinds. It goes round a couple of spots and you've got a couple of loose players that want to see a flop, you're not going to try and nick their blinds. So, understanding your players, what they see you as and what you see them as is very, very important at the poker table. Difficult online, I know, but using the players' notes, using certain tools in that way can be very, very helpful.
Excellent, thank you very much. Well, do remember, if you have any questions for Barry or any comments or queries, do get them into us. The text number for you again is 62211. There it is on your screen. And you can, that's £4 for £1, so you can get us a nice long email there. And you can, text, and you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Well, we're going to be going to a short break now. Good first half, I think.
Indeed.
So Barry and I will return very shortly, so don't go anywhere. Good evening and welcome back to Poker Night Live, the show that brings you live online poker 7 nights a week. Tonight, myself, Michelle, aka the Night Nurse, joined by Barry, see how I did that? Nice. Joined by Barry Martin, aka the Bully. It's a good thing though, to bully people at poker table, to steal their chips, can't be bad.
Yeah.
Well, we've had some good poker tonight and some bad poker. We've watched a sit and go, we've watched a multi-table tournament which is rebuy, so we're going to be heading back there soon as well, because we haven't had that before on the show, so very exciting stuff. Some emails from yourselves, and before, I have got one here from Bob. Before I do that, remind you, if you do have anything at all to ask about the game of poker or any comments, and also because it's Valentine's, I figured I've got something as well, so we'll just do this. We've got 62211 for the text, which is £4 for £1. And the email there is poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. But as Valentine's is all about spending time with people you love or like, hopefully, I thought tonight, if anyone's got any people they would love to play a game of poker with, spend the evening playing poker with, why don't we use that as a little bit of
why
theme?
Not?
Yeah. Is there one person out of all the people you know in the world that you would like to play poker at? I mean, obviously, you've got your normal ones like Phil Helmuth and Dr. Tom and Barry here, of course, and myself. If there is anybody in the world you would like to play a game of poker
And why?
with,
we want to know why you want to play with them.
So do get them into us, 62211 and the email there as well, because we want to know. Right, so we've got a text here from Bob quickly. He just says, do you have a loose move that you are very fond of, Barry? Now, I know it's Valentine's Day. I'm assuming he's talking about the poker sense and not the woman's sense here.
Oh, make a move. I'm happily married with 4 children. It's the last thing I would do.
You've got 4 kids?
I've got 4 kids.
Really?
Yeah.
How old are they? Are they older, younger?
18, 14, 3.5 and 10 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a bit of a range, but
Wow.
I've nearly got enough for a 6-handed. Well, I've got enough for a 6-handed sit and go.
You're getting there, aren't you?
Which I'm always bully. Knock him a 10-month-old over. Oh, he's mucked his hand.
Right,
Stop dribbling on your
kings.
cards. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a big family.
Yes. So, loose move. What
Yes,
loose
so
moves
do you
are-
have a loose move that you're fond of?
My favourite move, and probably the most powerful especially in no limit and pot limit hold'em, would be the re-raise. I do like re-raising because if you kind of figure out, well, if people don't know me, but if you can figure out, what kind of hand someone's going to have to be calling a re-raise of a raise then it kind of narrows it down to, say, ace-king, aces and kings, maybe queens. It depends if the player's loose, maybe jacks as well. But I do like the re-raise with, especially, the stealth cards, suited connectors, 9, 10 of clubs.
Oh, I like that, stealth cards.
Stealth, yeah, under the radar. The flop comes down, 9,
7,
10
8
rag.
offsuit.
The guy with his jacks sitting there thinking, oh, I've got you now, and he moves in, and you.
The cards are pretty rubbish before the flop, but when you hit, you really do hit.
Rubbish, but there's possibilities. Obviously, you're looking with the re-raise with these kind of cards. You're looking for the player to lay their hand down, and when they show, oh, I've got ace queen, I'll lay it down, and then you can give them the needle. Say, well, I've got a monster hand, 9, 10. Oh, I've misread my hand. I thought I had aces. So that's the kind of move I like to make, but very selectively and at the right times. These kind of situations work.
Ah, well, I've spent a lot of time with Dr. Tom, so I don't have any
You're the
loose
night
moves.
nurse, obviously. So there's some kind of
That's
medical
how I first,
synergy going
definitely.
on.
That's how I first got my name, because it was
Oh,
Dr. Tom
okay.
and the night nurse.
Okay.
And so obviously I've had tightness drummed into me, so I don't have any loose moves.
Not yet.
I say, not yet. Right, well, God, you don't look old enough to have 4 kids. Wow, look at that.
It's the hair, you see.
It's the
It's the
hair.
highlights, the foils, it's the whole package.
Tan.
Well, no, it's actually makeup.
Oh, is it the massage?
Oh, it's really... My image is going down the tubes. Makeup, foils, highlights, it's not...
It's live TV, you're
I
allowed.
know,
We'll
okay,
let you
that's
off.
fine.
Well, what do you fancy? We've had sit and go. Should we go back to the multi-table tournament and see what's
Let's have a
going
look.
on
Let's
over
look at the lime green table, see how we're doing in this multi-table
Sea of
rebuy.
I'll see if we can find out how many people we've got left, actually, at this point.
Oh, we've got
Full
Gringo
table,
there.
yeah.
Look, monster chip leader. See, there's a nice thing about multi-table tournaments, especially with the rebuys, is that people rebuy, and you find a lot of chips in play. And we only started with 20 odd, 26, 28 players or something, and there's a lot of chips in play now.
Well, look, we started off 28 players. We've got 16 left, Barry.
So 2 tables
Gringo is tip leader there out of
He
all
is.
of them.
with his monster 2-8.
So, how does this work? As people are knocked, as people are knocked out, the table's condensed.
They
as
are.
they go.
The way it works with these 8-seater situations, that obviously they break down into constitute tables of 8. So with 16 players left, it works out there are 2 tables, and the tables would get balanced. So maybe you lose 2 players on this table, they would bring another player over from the other table to match it out. There's 7 players each on each table, and so on and so forth until you reach your final 8, and then move down to the final, and those 8 play down to top 3 actually get paid tonight, and there you have how the tournament actually breaks down.
Okay, so I'm not sure if are we still rebuying, do we know, or... Right, the rebuy period has finished.
Yep, all the top-ups are done, everything's done, so what they have in front of them now, the players, is what they're going to have to play with and try and get to the final, because you can't win unless you make the final. Which I know it makes a bit of an obvious thing, but it's a philosophy some people tend to forget, that they're trying to make big moves 4 and 5 tables out of these multi-table tournaments, whereby you can't win a tournament in that position. You can't win it 4 and 5 players out. You can accumulate chips for sure, but taking risks in them situations can be non-conducive to making the final and trying to get into the money.
Well, we're having 12-minute levels, so the blinds are going up every 12 minutes. First prize, we can tell you, is going to be $420, second $252, and third $168. So it is still only the top three, which means 25 people are going home with nothing.
Shame.
Which is very sad.
Hey, that's poker.
That's poker. On this particular table, watch out, we've got Hefner there, who is our short stack. Remember, we've got 2 tables left, and they are playing in the same game. Hefner is the short stacked, and Gringo there is actually the highest stack. So we have both on this particular table. We've got Stonefish, Spathy, Eddie Test, Blommer, McStealth, and Herbert Test as well at the top there. So it'll be
Kind of hard to read
see.
on the lime green table as the white text, isn't it, sometimes?
They are, aren't they? It's tricky.
Especially some of these strange names. Herbert Test.
Herbert Test with 2 T's.
I'm sure some of these people make their names up by just leaning on the keyboard and going, okay, that's it, that's my username. Or maybe they're just Scandinavian.
It could be.
Yeah.
Do you remember tonight is Valentine's Day, and we're going to drill you for your... We want to know who you would most like to play poker with and spend the evening playing poker with. Do you get them into a 62211?
Got any favourites?
I don't know. I was thinking about this actually. I think I wouldn't mind actually, teaching Mr. Pitt to play. Mr. Brad Pitt.
I'm sure you'd like to teach him a number of things.
Teach him how to play the game.
Yes.
And have a little evening with him. That would be quite nice.
Yeah.
Of course, and there's the obvious Poker Night Live experts. It's always
but they're too close to home. I was thinking
very close to home.
I was thinking something. Oh look, we've got possibles of a half flush. No, there you go. They're a little bit close to home. I'm sure there's some,
To pick a very experienced, celebrity poker player, I quite like, not in the romantic sense, but I quite like Daniel Negreanu. He seems like quite an upbeat, fun guy to play.
Definitely.
So I wouldn't
My
mind
wife's
giving him a
favourite, in
go.
fact, Daniel
Is he?
Negreanu. Yep.
Ah.
Quite a cute guy, nice manner at the table.
Yeah, he seems like a bit
Good
of
to
a
watch.
giggle and yeah.
He was one. I've been lucky enough to spend quite a bit of time with Daniel over the last few years, and
really?
yeah, going to Vegas and interviewing him and stuff for the site, and
Wow.
he's a really nice guy. Likes having a beer, likes to have a bit of fun. He's an absolute top guy, and I would always like to spend time with Dan, both at the table and away from the table.
Well, next time you see him, let him know. If he wants to take me on, that's fine.
Got any problems,
No
come and see
problems
the
with
night
that.
nurse. Bit of a chesty cough, but going to bed.
I'm all right.
Bit of portion of the night nurse would go down, an absolute treat.
I can help him out there.
I'm
Give
sure
him
you
some
can,
medicine.
Michelle.
Never know where he's going wrong on the poker
Phil
table.
Ivey's another one I'd like to, again,
He seems a bit more...
He's more aloof.
subdued and,
more
aloof. Aloof's a good word.
He's very quiet. He's not someone to be, loud and boisterous at the table like, your Negranus and your Helmuths and
It's
stuff.
like Dr. Tom and Nick. The difference between...
Yeah, a little bit. I can see the kind of, the correlation between the two personality traits. But, Phil's, whatever you want to say about the guy, he's probably, in the last, say, 2 years, been the #1 poker player in the world.
Wow, which
Both,
is...
both in the very, very biggest cash games and the very big tournaments. Great
It's not
player.
about titles hold, is it?
No,
Will be given?
no, and I think that's, pretty much universal now that Ivey's, if not the best, one of the, probably the top 3 or 5 in the world. So, yeah, he's a guy I'd like to play poker with. And,
No, Phil Ivey for you then.
yeah, Phil Ivey, and as I say,
Spend a
Negreanu's
romantic
great.
Valentine's evening playing poker
Well,
with
yeah,
Phil
maybe
Ivey.
not that. No.
Right, that's good. I'm going to pick Daniel Negreanu because I like his attitude when I've seen him play.
Good shout.
I think it'll be fun.
You'd definitely have more fun with Dan than you would with Phil Ivey. I think.
Yeah. So who is yours? Do you get them into a 62211? Obviously, some of you are probably still out having your romantic dinners.
Or maybe not someone you'd want to play, but maybe a poker matchup you'd like to see.
Yeah.
Maybe there's two contrasting styles you'd like to see at the poker table.
Yeah, definitely. Because there are styles, like we were talking about earlier, just before the break, actually, that you can play. We know, for instance, Mark is more of a looser player, but a loose aggressive player. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to be a loose player, you have to be the aggressive style, don't you?
Most of the time, you can't be a calling station when playing, in an aggressive manner. You're more of a raiser and a re-raiser than a cooler. Where you'd say James was a little more conservative in his play. Mm-hmm. He definitely fits in the mould of the tight, aggressive player. Mm-hmm. When he does play a hand, he plays it very strong.
And as I've seen, I've watched Mark play before, obviously, in your little poker game that you had.
Indeed, the commentator's show, which was fun. It lasted a little longer for Mark than it did for me, but I had fun. That was all it was about.
And you can't, it's difficult because you can't say, I mean, look at me, I was put in with a lot of better players. Now, Tiffany Williamson is a far better player than I am at the poker table, yet in that particular tournament, I came third and she came fourth. So
Exactly.
It just goes to show it's...
No, and in these single table tournaments, you know, you need the cards. You know, yes, you could play really, really well. Nick, looking back at the commentators' event, Nick should have won it. Nick had the best hands pretty much throughout the evening. Mark played really well, but he had to get very, very lucky to stay in it. And he did, and, you know, end up winning it. And as I say, Mark's a fine player, but Nick should have won it. He was very unlucky not to win it that evening.
He wasn't a happy chappy.
Unfortunately, it was the night after a bit of a soiree down at the Gut Shop.
We had our
and there was
reloaded party, didn't we?
I know, especially Cass was suffering big time.
I think when I tuned in, he had his head on the table.
Yeah, he wasn't in good shape. I think he was just looking to get out of there very quickly so he can go home to bed, because I think he had about an hour's sleep or something. So, yeah, an interesting choice. Oh, maybe we'll do it again sometime. Who knows?
Yeah, it was good.
You can play next time. Be great.
I did play last time. Don't you
No,
remember?
I mean in the commentators.
So I think I should. I
Yeah.
think they should have one replaying you guys, and then if I won, that would be wonderful.
Have, like, you know, yourself and the other two female presenters against maybe three of the commentators.
We should have a battle of the sexes.
Yep.
That would be
There
good.
you go. So powers that be at Poker Zone, Battle of the Sexes.
I need to be taking my girls aside though,
Yeah.
and having some
Have a bit of a
little
chat.
strategy talk.
That's right. Bit of slow playing each other. That could work quite well, actually.
That would be fun.
So, just to recap on what we're looking at here, it's the multi-table tournament. It's the rebuy multi-table tournament that we've got here on Poker Night Live, which is a bit of a first. We're well past our rebuy section of the particular tournament, and we're looking here at the chip leader, Mr. Gringo 31, with a tad over 14,500 chips, and with the blinds at 200, 400. Pretty good shape there, Michelle. When I say pretty good shape, I mean in comparison to how much he's got to put in per round, he's got a lot of time to be able to pass hands, not have to make any moves, play, you know, go down the gears. When I say go down the gears, I mean, you know, if you take, you know, your gear stickers, the kind of the aggression situation, like first gear is very relaxed and loose, relaxed and tight. Fifth gear is very aggressive and making a lot of moves. He can definitely move down the gears here. Yeah, hopefully that explained what people, when they say moving up and down the gears, that's what it meant. But you knew that anyway.
I knew that, of course.
Good.
You can't see me making facial expressions. We've got 2 people now gone from this particular table, so 4, 5, 6 left. We had 2 knocked out from this table. But do remember there's another table in play as well. As Barry has been informing us, it was a rebuy tourney, so we're looking at a different amount of chips in play. Our chip leader being Gringo, and Hefner has the least amount of chips. There's 11 players left. Now we get a lot of emails, Barry, about these multi-table tournaments, and people struggle towards the end. We get a lot of people saying they're, to start off with, they're quite conservative and playing strong hands, but they're finding when it gets to the latter stages of the tournament, they're lower in chip stacks, and then they struggle because the bigger stacks bully them off.
Well, that's, you know, and any good tournament strategy, you have to manage your stack accordingly. You can't let yourself get too low, because you know your chips are a weapon, and you can't go into a fight with a cucumber or some.
Right, no, if the other person's got a gherkin, you're not doing too badly.
Well, that's fine. If you're 2 short stacks, then it's different. But you know, you can't go into a fight with a cucumber when the guy's got a Kalashnikov or something. It's not. You're not going to do any good. And that the analogy I'm trying to explain here is you need to manage your stack correctly. See, with the blinds currently at 200, 400, you don't really want to be anywhere below, say, 8 or 9, maybe 10 big blinds. You want to be around the 4,000 mark. So someone like Hefner 11 over there is really struggling. He needs to find a hand. The problem he's got is that he's got so low that even if he moves in now with a big hand, it's a pretty much instantaneous call from the big blind, because it's only another 665 to call his all-in move. And he really can't afford to let the blinds go past him now, because if he does, and he's 600 now out of his stack, he's left with 465, and it's a, you know you're going to be in a 2 or 3 way pot, which even with aces or kings, you don't want to be doing. Now,
it also comes kind of poker etiquette now. If you're the big blind and a very small stack goes all in, it's almost becomes your job to call in.
It's not etiquette, it's math, it's pure math. You know, he moves in for 11, say he moves in for 1,000 here, and you've got, where's the button now? It's going to be on Eddie Test. So Gringo and McStelfer on the small and big blind. Now, look, a perfect example, look at this. He's going to have to move in with the queens, which is fair enough. Now, he's got a good hand, but he's going to come up against McStelfer with one overcard, which is not a bad position to be in.
Cool, he's certainly going to get some.
I tell you what, it could be a nice situation.
Here.
He could get tripled up because he's up against 2 lower pairs and an ace-jack. Now, I think McStelf can pass this. Yes, he can.
Well, Spathy's going to now, I think, as well, isn't he?
Well, I think he has to. He's got to think himself in a bit of a bad way, unless he fancies them both on high cards, which it's really pushing the envelope if he thinks that's the situation.
He's got time to wait for a better hand.
He has. He's got 6,000 chips he can pass, and I'm sure now the cards are on their back. He's very, very happy to see that he was up against 2 big overpairs.
Survived that one.
He did. Perfect timing. Perfect timing to pick it up. Got the queens under the gun. He could have had any 2 cards really, but he didn't have to have queens there to move in with his chip stack. But pretty good shape, and the multi-table tournament's now starting to take shape. We're in looking kind of semi-final stages here now, Michelle. But I think we're going to leave this now, aren't we? We're going to go to...
yeah, we will come back to it. We'll just watch this hand play out, and then we're going to head to cash, because we haven't had a cash game yet tonight. But let's just see what happens here. Spathy doesn't have a hand yet. Ace high.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bad one.
Ooh, now he does.
And he wasn't ever going to get paid anyway from Hefner with the 2-4, so it's going to be a bet and pass, I believe.
There we go. Right, well, let's head over to our cash game. We haven't been to see one of these yet.
Oh, sorry. Drinking your tea there.
Drinking your tea, Barry.
Sorry, it's tea time, isn't it? Yeah.
It's allowed. Give me a lemon sip. Right, yes, we've watched the tournament tonight. We've watched the multi-table tournament. We will be heading back there later. And I do have an email here, actually, so while we're in Vision, should we do it?
Yeah, why not?
It's from Tragic Trev. Hello, Trev. How are you? He says, hi, Michelle and Baz. Last night, Billy and JB, Mr. Browning, was discussing the element of luck in percentage terms, and the agreed result was 70% luck and 30% skill. Of the 30%, how much of that is related to the certain skill elements of poker, e.g. percentage related to folding, bluffing, hand selection, player reading, etc., and loving the show? So is that what you come up with then? 70% luck, 30% skill? Yeah,
we were kind of comparing backgammon, because James was a backgammon player. We were comparing backgammon to poker and what element he believed was skill and what was luck. Obviously, with the dice you have in backgammon, there is an element of luck, just like the turn of a card in poker. And James put his mark in the ground and said, I believe that both games are around 70% luck, 30% skill, which I said was probably a fair representation of both games. But I think the better you get at the game, especially at poker, I think the skill level starts to rise, because, we were speaking about Phil Ivey earlier. This guy is a regular winner in the cash games, regular winner in the tournaments. He's not just lucky. Luck, I believe, comes in equal portions to everybody. Okay, now, if Phil Ivey was, just a lucky poker player, he's going to run out eventually. He's not. He's a very skillful player. And you're talking about, the related to bluffing and reading players. He's very good at that across the board. And the better you get at reading and your position and understanding your players and when to bluff, semi-bluff, etc., knowing your odds, your stats and your percentages, that all equates to a bigger side of the 30% going up. So maybe 70-30 is an unfair representation of exactly what the situation should be. Maybe it should be 40-50%, maybe even 60% to the very highly skilled, world-renowned players. So a difficult one to work out, but it's very much a skill game, and that's why I think that poker's become universally popular.
So he says there, how much of that 30% is related to folding, bluffing, hand selection, player reading? Are you able to work that out, or is that just an equal amount? It's
pretty much unquantifiable, really. As I say, you can't put a number on it, but the better you get at the other elements, the finenesses of the game, the bigger that 30% number comes, or whatever percentage you may be. You may be, if you're a novice player, then you're going to find that it may be 90-10. It may be just luck, and you're not that skillful. But as you start to learn the game, and your knowledge, becomes that more wide-ranging for the game of poker, then that skill number is definitely going to go up. What exactly the number is, I'm afraid you need some kind of math expert to come up with that one, which is going to be a tough one. I think Tom would struggle to come up with a number for that.
I think you probably would, to be fair. Right, so we're going to head over to a cash game for the first time this evening. So let's have a look over there. It is a 25-cent, 50-cent cash game. So the amounts you see in front of all our players. So there's Tragic, he was just emailing us in a moment ago. That's the actual amount of money they're playing with. So they have a bank account, and they sit down this table and they go, right, this is how much money I'm bringing this table. Now there is a minimum and maximum, isn't there?
There is. $5 the minimum in these 25, 50-cent games, which is. There's not many people with that, and they're sitting down with. I'm actually not sure the maximum here. I suppose it's $25. Is it 50?
So I think it's 10 times the big blind, and for the minimum, and 100 times the big blind for the maximum.
So $5 or $50. So even with starting with the minimum amount, Tragic has got a nice sum back, $88 in front of him. Not as much as Spencer Boy with $92. But we don't know. They may have pulled up. They may have gone broke and had to pull up another $50. But
in this particular sitting, Spencer Boy and Tragic are doing quite well, and MCR is up there as well, and even Johan Harren is up, and St Elmo's up $1. If you come in with 50, he's up $1.
Time to call it a day.
Well, that's it.
$1.55, no less.
So on this table, there he is, Tragic. We've got Spencer Boy. We've got fudge. God, I could eat some fudge right now. And it's Valentine's Day. No one's bought me any fudge. St Elmo there.
Fudge? Is that a standard thing in Essex? So Valentine's Day fudge?
See, now you're telling everyone where I'm from. Yeah, Barry,
the posh part of Essex.
Of course.
Yeah.
T-Y, how on earth do you say that? Tiaya? Should you just call him you?
Tyre.
We'll call him Tyre, that's fine. MCR there, and Johan Harren at the top, of course. So a couple of players on here that we know, seen before. Now 25, 50 cent, this is what I play on. No, it's not. I play on 10, 25 cent. My dad plays on 25, 50 cent.
It's all relative to your bankroll, and whatever you want, the level you play at, you got to feel comfortable that you're.
I actually cashed out of the original site I was playing on. I cashed out. They were all my winnings, and it was $200.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was from when I first started.
That's good.
Not bad.
So you're a winning poker player?
Yeah, at the moment I am. But, I lost a bit. I decided, actually, I was going to mention this. I decided last night, because last time I was on, we were talking about playing more than one table at a time on the net, which a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. And obviously, to a lot of our beginner players or players that have only been playing a few months, we advocate concentrating on the one table, because there's so many elements you need to be working out. And we were actually talking, I think I was with Dr. Tom, and no, it was with James, and we were trying to decide at what point do you start trying to play more than one table at a time. And James says he thought I was ready to try 2. So I did this last night.
And?
It was horrible. I didn't know where I was, I didn't know what was going on. And do you know what I did? I was on one table, and I know you can just flick between the two, but I had ace king of diamonds. So I raised it up pre-flop. And then I had a hand on the other table as well. So I went out, I think it was king, queen suited or something, and there was a flush draw and all sorts going on. And I was like, ah. And I went back to the other table, and someone's coming along with me, and my ace king, I had 2 pair. Wow. So I was like, I'm raising up ace king 2 pair, back to the other table, blah, blah, he's calling me idiot, I'm going to re-raise you, blah, blah, blah. Completely didn't even notice there was 4 hearts on the board. He blatantly had a heart. And I've called him down at the very end and re-raised him, and I lost about $15. And, $25 maximum game is a lot. And I was like, oh no. And then I lost the other one as well, and I just, in the end, I said, right, I'd come off that table straight away and thought, I'm not doing it.
I think the time to move up to more than one table is when you find yourself, getting a little impatient. If you find yourself, waiting for something to happen, and you find yourself making moves when you shouldn't be because you're getting a little bit bored by the
which is
level
exactly
of
what
play.
I was doing.
Well, then it's time to move up.
I suppose it's just getting used to it, and because it was my first time.
It's very rare you're going to have 2 big hands, in play with action going on at both tables on more than one occasion.
So I was just
on
unlucky.
regular occasions. So, yeah, he was unlucky.
And then I tried to make out, because I was really annoyed, because I was doing well on that table and I had a really good tight image which I was using, which I like to have, and then I was using it obviously in my favour. And then of course I made this ridiculous, I tried to type in, oh, you know, that's what I get for letting my brother have a go. Don't even have a brother.
Oops. Nice move. So that's the old verbal bluff, which is good. Works online.
It does, yeah.
Should let me dog play. He bit the mouse, so I wouldn't really meant to raise there. I wanted to pass.
That's like a nightmare when you accidentally raise. And I did find that as well. I accidentally called like a $4 raise with rubbish because I thought I was on one table and I wasn't. I was on the other one. Yes, it was quite a lot. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of work difference between playing one table to two.
Yep.
And I am ready to do one table, so I do get quite bored on one table. But
what a lot of people do as well, they may play, if you're playing a tournament, like a multi-table or something, whereby you're playing a multi-table and you're playing some cash as well.
Yeah, that could be a better idea.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll find a level that you're comfortable with and, you know, get used to it and then move forward from there.
You can find yourself playing for hours, though, I find, as well. You keep saying, well, I'll just go around one more blinds, and then I'll come off.
It's like 4 in the morning. I'll go one more level, one more round.
Oh, God. Especially when you're on a roll. You don't want to ever come away and you think, well, I should go, I've doubled my money, I should really leave now. But you just think, oh, but I'm on such a good, I'm obviously playing well, get in the car, just
and then the postman starts to deliver the mail, you think, oh, I really should go to bed. Work tomorrow. Because
we have 2 computers in my house and they're quite near each other, and me and my dad will end up playing. And it's an absolute nightmare because he's always looking over my shoulder going, oh, you know, look at that. Raise it up, King 10. And I'm like, no, Dad, I'm going to fold. Because we have completely different styles.
I like your dad. He sounds like a right mover and shaker.
He is. He's $600 up.
Wow.
He's doing really well.
He's playing, what, 25, 50?
25, 50 cent.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, he's doing really well. He stopped playing the tourneys and he tends to play 2 tables at the same time. And he's quite a loose player. And he's really making it work for him. That's
good. And he sounds like he enjoys it as well.
He loves it, you know, he's really enjoying it. And the funniest thing in the world was when the other day somebody come on, just as I came into the room, I saw somebody type in and call my dad a Muppet. And I thought, God, if anyone knew my dad in real life, he'd never get called a Muppet. It can only happen on the poker chat tables.
The friendliness of online poker is great.
Yes. Do remember, guys and gals, it's Valentine's Day. We're asking you who you would like to spend the evening playing poker with. Who would it be? Anyone in the world you could spend the evening playing poker with? Who would it be? 62211. We already know that Barry's would be Phil Helmuth and mine would be Daniel Negreanu. So come on, you lot. 62211. Who would yours be?
Phil Ivey, actually, not Phil Helmuth. Phil would be...
What did I say? Oh, yeah.
Phil Helmuth, Phil Ivey, they're all Phils. But, yeah, no, Phil Ivey would be a much better choiceman than Phil Helmuth. He does tend to fly off the handle very easily when there's even a slight bad beat heading his way. Great to see.
Really?
Makes good TV.
Right, well, let's have a look at what we've got here. MCR's hit top pair. Shansky with Jack 10, nothing. So it was a simple bet and fold.
Yeah, he was a bit out of shape there with Jack 10 in the big blind. Vastly overrated hand and wants to call a raise. There you go.
So it's cash games, the blinds stay the same?
Yep. Slightly different style of play here you'll see in from the tournaments compared to the cash games. You'll find it usually a little tighter most of the time. People playing,
Will we not see as many flashy moves?
Well, it's unlikely unless it's a really loose table. But most of the time you'll find that it's pretty solid play because, as you say, the blinds are staying the same. They're not being forced up.
Right. Well, we've got our final table, Barry.
Wow. Looking forward to that.
So I think we should head over to the final table. Just remind, guys and gals, hello. Remind you, it was the Stan James Pro Sharks St Valentine's Day Massacre was what we were watching. It was 28 players to start with. We had about 4 tables, 4 tables. It was a rebuy tournament. It was the first ever rebuy tournament we've been watching on on Poker Night Live. And just to quickly recap the difference between a rebuy and a freeze out.
Well, first hour you can rebuy as many times as you possibly can, or as you want, when you go broke, or half your starting stack, I believe, and this with a $10. So it may cost you $10, it may cost you quite a bit more, and you'll find there's a lot more chips in play for the amount of players that there are actually in the tournament to begin with. So.
Well, we should see that now, actually, because we're going to head over to our last table now.
We're down to the final.
Final 8. But it's actually only the top 3 that are going to get paid.
Yep.
So the first place taking $420, second place $252, and third place $168. So we can actually see the amount of chips that are in play here. So quite a few rebuys, I think, in that first hour.
Yeah, what we've got, there's a number of chips in play. 17, 23.
Oh, do you need a calculator?
60, 77. Just around 80,000 chips, gives you some idea. So with 20 odd players, we've got 80,000 chips. So there were, 50 rebuys, something like that, rebuys and top ups. So
people are spending their money. See, now I found when I played accidentally in a rebuy tournament, I didn't like it. Actually, I stick to the freeze outs.
How big a tournament was it? Was it $1, $5?
It was only $5.
Well,
no, it wasn't. It was a $10. Sorry, excuse me. It was a $10 rebuy.
Wow. Okay.
And I thought it was a freeze out, and I got confused and accidentally went to it. And I found that there was a hell of a lot going on in that first half, and it was half-hour rebuy. And I found that it was wild. Everyone was all in. Most hands, somebody would end up with all their chips in, and then if they lost them, it seemed to me, the way people seem to be playing, I don't know if it's the correct way, but the way people seem to be playing is, right, I'm going to go all in, I'm going to take a risk, and I'll either double up and be in good stead for the rest of the tournament, or if I don't, I can just rebuy and try again.
Yep,
that seemed to be the general...
That is some philosophy for some players. It can be a very expensive way to play multi-table rebuys, but that's the way some people like it.
And you know, I know exactly why I struggle with it, is because we obviously talk about how important it is to find a table that you're comfortable playing. I like to be on a table where it's quite passive, and I like them to become the aggressor. When I'm on a table where there's lots of aggressive, flamboyant players, I find it difficult then to fit in with them, so I think that's why.
You should change your style to suit. If they're playing very, very aggressively, go down the gears, play very tight and wait for your premium hands, which I know you said you did. You waited for kings and you got unlucky.
I got unlucky.
Well, look, in poker, if you can get your money in with the best of it, you're doing nothing wrong.
I mean, you have to look at it, I assume, along the lines of if you're making the right decision, even if you lose, you can't.
If you're getting in as a, I believe you had 2 undercards to your overpair, so you're a massive favourite, 5, 6 to 1 or whatever it was. It depends what the hands were. But if you're that kind of favourite, then you do that on a regular basis, you'll end up as a winning player. So
thinking about in the long run.
In the long run, which you have to look at poker in that vein. You can't look at it as a short-term situation.
So there are times when you're going to be making the right moves, but you're still going to be losing.
Exactly. We were talking about the luck versus skill factor, and sometimes you're going to be hitting bad runs of form, and there's nothing you can do about it at all. You're going to have to just ride the peaks and the troughs of poker fortune, and the better players come out at the end of it as in profit, and the worst ones. Peaks. What's I said, didn't I?
Pigs. Yeah, but
pigs. Pigs.
So which is good? Pig on the trough.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, it's a play on words. Well done. I like that one. You had me going there. I was thinking. I said pigs.
Got it right?
But pigs and troughs. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, throw me now. What was you talking about? Oh yeah, we're talking about luck and skill and the long-term approach, which I think is the right way to play poker. If you get a little bit disheartened or disillusioned by the game by taking a couple of beats in, poker's probably not the game for you. You have to accept it for what it is, and your big hands, even aces and kings, are going to lose occasionally.
So, but as long as you're making the right decision on a regular basis, you'll be doing okay.
You will. Because over time, the math will always work out in your favour.
Well, Spathy here now, Trussell here now he's losing at the moment. He's got the least amount of chips. And Gringo's still the chip leader, so doing very well, Gringo.
No, I think we've got Bross over there, isn't he? Brossy 12.
Oh, he's at 17,000. Yeah. Oh, and look,
he's just nudged his way in front.
16,000 now. Well, that's because Gringo just put in 4,000, you see.
Indeed.
So if he wins this,
Yep,
Which he may well do.
which I think he will with King Jack on the big blinds. Made a nice move with the deuces, and you're quite right, Michelle. Gringo is the chip leader, but it's pretty close. It's 3 or 4. What is it? 1, 2, 4 of them are around the 15,000 upward mark. So you have to think that it's between these 4 for the top 3 prizes. And with the blinds at 400, 800, you've got a couple of shorter stacks here in Spathy and Money to Mama. Both going to be finding it very difficult, and also Trussell down there on just a tad under 4,000 with five big blinds or less. They're going to have to make a move eventually, somewhere along the line.
So Gringo, they're just flat calling the bet from Brothy. Gringo, I'm assuming, worried about that ace.
Well, it's a pretty weak bet though, isn't it? Look at that. He's bet 800 into a 6,000 chip pot. Now, it looked weak, and I know I'd probably be calling with the 10 because it doesn't look like he has anything to do with that flop. It didn't look like a milky bet. It just looked at a minimum bet that was looking for a cooler.
Or maybe even re-raised by Gringo to ask him if he really does have the ace.
Possibly. That's a way to play it, but, flat calling wouldn't be a bad shout, and see what Brossie does on the river. Got chips, you see, and with the top 3 getting paid, I don't think either of them want to go to war, really, with the hands that they had.
I mean, it's a classic case of aggression there. I mean, Brothy, even though it wasn't a huge bet, managed to push the bet hand off.
Yep, he did. Which, again, I'm sure the factor that the top 3 are getting paid obviously played on their minds, and Gringo thought, I'll wait for a better opportunity.
Well, early test here, ace king, big slick on the big blind. Are you raising out with the big slick here?
Well, you know what? I think you may fame Brossie here, who's been playing pretty aggressively. Is going to be raising on the button with the 6s, and I think he's going to get some action with the ace king. He'll probably make, he's doubled the big blind, minimum raise, coming for 1,600. Now let's see what Eddie does. Me personally, with ace king, I'm gonna make a big raise here and try and put him to the test, because ace king's a lovely hand, but if you miss on the flop, what do you do?
Difficult.
And he's out of position. And when I say out of position, I mean, on the flop, he's going to be first to speak, and that's not where you want to be. You want to be last to speak in a multi-way pot.
I mean, I suppose Brossie there wanted a lay down from Spathy.
Of course he did. He's made a raise, hoping that the small and big blind would pass, and did nothing really wrong. But Eddie Test with the ace king has decided to raise, which was the good option, and taken down the pot.
In this stage of the game, is stealing the blinds an important part of it?
Especially against the shorter stacks, because, one, if you're nicking the blinds off the shorter stacks, they're going to find it, one, very difficult to call because you're a big stack, but two, even if they do call your raise, they're not going to do you too much damage. And there's, as we said earlier, there's three players there that are looking short, looking for a double up, and they're the players that I'll be looking to try and nick their blinds, because they're the ones that can do me least damage as a player.
Let's see who comes in for the play here. Queen 9.
Three-way pot here.
Oh, we could get our flush, our heart flush.
We could get a straight flush here.
That would be good,
So
with the 10 of hearts.
Trussell's moved all in with the... he's going to get a cooler 100% from Brossie with the trip 8s. Now, lots of outs for Trussell, and that wasn't one of them.
Wow, Trussell's taken out.
Yep, no 10 of hearts. He had lots of outs there, but...
We've only got 20 minutes to get our heart flush.
Yeah, or it's past Valentine's, so who knows? We may see it. We may not. Eddie Test getting aggressive with the Jack Queen of clubs. Is he going to get any action from Brossie here with the Ace 10 of clubs? He is.
Remember, guys and girls, our Valentine's question: who would you like to play poker with? If you could spend the night playing poker with someone, who would it be? 62211. Poker@PokerNightLive.co.uk. Who would you like to spend the night playing Valentine's, playing poker with? Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people left in this multi-table tournament. 3 places being played. Paid, not played. Can't talk tonight. What have we got here? Ace 5 taking it down. Blinds are at 400, 800. It's very interesting to watch this stage of a multi-table tournament. I know a lot of you struggle with how to approach this stage of a tournament in the multi-table, so it's good to see how these guys are playing and if it's working for them. And you can see the difference in the stacks here at the moment. Money to Mama needs to do some work. Now, is Money to Mama looking to go all in here, or is there still play yet?
He needs to make a move. You don't really want to be letting the blinds go by him again, because it's going to be 1,200 a round, which is the two blinds combined. So, you know, in the next three hands, I'd be looking to lump my chips in and try and nick 1,200 to give me a little bit of breathing space. And this should be an interesting matchup, though. Boone with the ace-king is going to find himself up against Eddie Test with the ace-jack. Is Eddie going to fancy this one?
He hasn't got position on Boone.
No, and he's been out flops. He's going to find it very difficult now to make his ace-jack pay.
It's going to cost him a lot to see.
Yeah, no hearts in his hand. Overcard to his ace, to his jack. Yeah, nice stuff from Boone. So blinds are up now, 501,000.
Well, look, Bossy, King Queen, as James Browning would put it, King Queen, ruler in the land of the unraised pot.
Yeah, I'm not a great lover of just flat calling there with the King Queen. If you're going to make a play with it, if you're going to put any chips in the pot, raise it up, put the small and big blind to a decision. No mucking around.
It's not a bad hand. It's a drawing hand, if you like. Oh, look, come on, heart. We want to see the flush. It's only going to be a 10 flush. Come on, the ace of hearts. That's what we want.
Just over 4-1 to hit the. There we go, the heart flush.
King heart flush.
15 minutes before the end of Valentine's.
Look, we've waited all night for that, and there
have.
it is, right at the end. It was waiting for its finale.
And he may get paid if
showdown.
no, he maybe doesn't know.
King high flush. It's not bad.
That'll do.
That'll do us. We're not greedy. There it is in all its glory.
The heart flush.
Heart flush, which I'm sure many hearts have been doing tonight.
You think so? Flushing
Across the
away?
country, flushing away, whatever that may mean.
Yeah. And now, let's see, this flat calling from Brossy, I just don't like it, Michelle. You know, you're not. He suffered it the last time with the King Queen. He's done the same here with the nines, just flat calling.
He doesn't seem to be very aggressive, does he?
No, and you know, Eddie Test has now said, right, okay, you limped in again. I'm gonna make you pay. Now, he could have eliminated this situation by raising it up and put everyone else to the test, but he's not. He limped in, allowed someone else to come over the top, and he's laid it down.
Aggression, I suppose, can be expensive when you get pushed off, but at the same time, there's so many times when it works for you.
But a limp is such a weak play, you know, limping in, especially when the blinds are 500, 1,000. It just, especially when the hand previously done exactly the same thing, check, 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 and got a bit out of it for 1,000 on the river. Irrelevant that there were 4 hearts on board or not. Mm-hmm. But the hand, you know, played itself out, and he played it poorly. So, as I say, you know, flat calling in general in No Limit Hold'em is usually a recipe for disaster, loss, and you know, definitely early exiting from cash and tournaments.
I tell you what, though, it's something that definitely comes with time to be aggressive. When I first started, I was a calling station.
That's the way it works. You know, that's the way most people play when they first start off. They're unsure about how to play the hand, so they thought, well, I suppose it's just a call. We'll see what happens. Which
let's see what card I get next. And,
exactly.
And if they bet me up, I'm gone because I don't want to get into a fight when I'm not sure I'm ahead.
And people, you know, the better player will pick up on that you are a passive player, and will push you off, even though they may have a less than premium holding.
Oh, Jack Queen for Brossy now.
See what he does on the button here. You should be raising with these kind of hands.
Ooh,
see, it's the worst hand we've seen him with.
He's raising.
And he's now raising it up.
Well, to be fair, there's probably a 5-minute delay, so he's probably heard us.
Well,
it's all right.
I doubt it.
Come on, let's give ourselves
up
some
and
credit
down,
here,
yeah,
though.
maybe. Well, look, he should be betting this, really.
Really, he's gone up and down straight.
Well, he's got up and down. I know he hasn't got any spades
outs.
in his hand, but he was a pre-flop raiser, and I think a bet out on the turn there, or on the flop, definitely would have taken it down. He's not to know that Eddie's got 6-3. Eddie's kind of figured out that Brossie may have nothing to do with this and is going to put a bet in and see where he stands.
Ooh.
And he calls.
Got his queens. I don't think he's going to get paid here from 6-3.
No, he's going to check it and hope that his queen's good, which it was.
See, now he's chip leader.
Yep.
Got a little bit of leeway here, so he should be raising up and trying to take some pots down. Eddie Test taking that one down. Remember, only top 3 places, so still 2 people are going to be going out of this. Sorry, 3 people still to go out of this with nothing, and after all their hard work.
But think of the amount of fun they've had.
Oh,
Oodles
copious
and
amounts of fun.
Yeah. There we go. The limit raise from Brossie 12 again. Spathi thinking, okay, pair of 7s, time to move. Now, Boone with pocket 5s, maybe he fancies some of this. Don't think he's going to want to get involved too much with the chips that he's got and with the raise and a re-raise behind.
Brossie there, he's got 23,000. It's only going to cost him another 13.
Cool. Ooh, nice flop though, up and down. 10's good.
Spathi has got out 6th. Unfortunate
so
Spathi.
2 more yet to get paid. Now, poor old Money to Mama. Poor old Money to Mama. In the big blind there. You see, there's that look. That limp again. Brossie's limped in. Eddie Test has gone, right, you're limping, I'm pushing in. I'm going to put you to the test. And it's a pass.
There he goes.
It's like low-hanging fruit for Eddie Test.
There it is. Right, we're going to leave that now. Don't worry. Wonders of technology. We're going to freeze it in its tracks, and we're going to be revisiting it when we come back after the break. So there we go. Here we go. There we are. We've got an email here from Jason. He says, hi there. I play quite a lot of poker online. I do reasonably well at all times, but obviously not so well at other times. I find the psychological aspect hard to deal with when I'm on a bad run, and I know it affects my play, which is very frustrating. Also, I feel I am too passive and find it hard to make moves without actual hands, which probably makes me predictable. I was wondering if you knew of anyone I could talk to discuss my shortfalls and general chat about the game and form a more philosophical view of it, and of course to improve my game. I really enjoy the game and take it rather seriously, and I'm always striving to improve. So if anybody could take the time to reply, anything you said would be greatly appreciated. I will hand this to Barry, but I would like to say to you that one of the best things you do, I think you might agree, Barry, is on our Poker Night Live forums, because we have some excellent chat going on there, don't we?
Absolutely. And I think you've taken the first step by watching Poker Night Live, you know. Now, obviously, the double award-winning show that we are, you know,
of course,
it's fine poker viewing. But no, all jokes aside, you're doing the right thing. You're watching a lot. So you're getting to watch a lot of hands. We're trying to give you some, you know, advice and a few tips and hints here and there. So you've made the first decision. You've emailed the show. Great, thanks for that. You're watching the show. Great for that as well. But the nice thing about online poker is you're seeing so many more hands you would do in a live situation that you can build your poker knowledge up over a very short period of time. So if you're looking to, you know, really take your game forward leaps and bounds, you know, great, you can talk to players and other people and people involved in the game, but why not read a book? Why not there's some great poker books out there, whether it be Super System 2, whether it be the new Harrington and Hold'em, whether it be the Cloutier and McAvoy books, Championship, Hold'em, No Limit, etc., etc. There are loads of books that you can find on a plethora of bookshelves and bookstores and online book situations. I'm sure you can find something that's going to help your game along. So, you know, if you're that hungry for knowledge, you'll find it out there somewhere.
Yeah, and do remember to visit our forums as well and have a chat with some of the guys on there, because you get some wonderful responses and people that really will help your play. Now, earlier on, it is Valentine's Day, so very happy Valentine's Day to everybody from Barry and I. And we asked you, who would you most like to spend the evening playing poker with? Who would it be? I said Daniel Negreanu. You said Phil Ivey.
I said Phil Ivey.
I was thinking it was Helmuth there. And we've got a text from Jace. He says, I'd love to play Will the Unabomber. He's just crazy and cracks me up.
I think it means with Will the Unabomber. Okay, it's actually Phil Lack, the Unabomber. Maybe it's another Unabomber, I'm sure. But it's the guy with the hood and he goes around doing the old shadow boxing and stuff. He's a fun guy. He's He's got a very nice girlfriend, Jennifer Tilley, who's a fine poker player now. Won herself a World Series of Poker break last year in the ladies' event. So, yeah, I think Unibomber would be an excellent shout for Valentine's evening.
Smoothcut here. Hi, Smoothcut. It's one of our regulars. He says, Happy Valentine's, Michelle. Oh, thank you. Haven't had many. He says, the person I'd most like to play with is Mad Marty, as he is a character and will sometimes express himself in a colourful manner, and it would not be too boring. Have any of you played with him, and is he mad?
Marty's mad. I spent quite a bit of time with Marty, you know, around the circuit and stuff like that. And I love Marty to bits. He's a lovely guy, very colourful character, total lunatic at the poker table. I remember watching him at it was the European Championships at the Vic about 2 or 3 years ago, and he was making mad moves, moving on people. I remember him calling a raise and a re-raise with 2-3 of clubs and actually knocking both guys out, one at aces, one at ace king, and he's made the flush on the river with his 2-3, and he stood up to start singing and stuff, and it was a bit of a rub down.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I like Marty, he's a good guy.
Yeah, good. I like people a bit mad. And look, Greg, oh, bless you, Greg, he says, Dear Michelle, my ideal Valentine's poker date would be you, because you are beautiful and I love your poker chat and the positive image of Essex girls that you represent whenever you are on TV.
I've done it now, haven't I? I mentioned the Essex word in this.
Oh, thank you. That's lovely. And cheered me up because I'm ill. And Tim also quickly says, Hi Michelle and Barry, I would like to play with Jennifer Harmon because she looks like a dirty minx. Well,
I'm sure she washes on a regular basis. I don't think she's that dirty. Is that what you meant? I'm not
pretty sure it wasn't. Well, thank you for all them. Do remember, let us know who would you like to spend the night playing poker with and why. We want to know. 62211 poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Well, Barry and I are visiting a short break, so don't go anywhere. Get yourself a cup of tea, and we'll return very shortly. Good morning, welcome back to Poker Night Live. Barry and I are very sad because it's no longer Valentine's Day.
No, but it's another fresh day and more Poker Night Live and more poker. Excellent.
Exactly, and we're still asking you for your Valentine's questions, and that's who would you most like to play poker with? Who was it for you?
Phil Ivey.
Phil Ivey, that's right, and for me it was
Negreanu.
Daniel Negreanu, right. Well, we're going to go straight to a cash game, 25, 50 cents, so let's head straight over there.
So here we go, back to the 25, 50 cent game, just to recap. $5 the minimum buy-in, and $50 the maximum you can sit with there on this particular table. 8-handed. Got a couple of regular faces here, Joanne Haran, Tragic Trev, etc., etc.
That was lovely, Barry.
Pardon?
That was lovely. Tragic Trev, Johan Haran, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Can't be bothered with the others.
Well, you know, they're all friendly faces, I'm sure.
Well, shall we leave this one actually and head back over, because we were at the last table of the multi-table tournament.
We were. It was just brewing nicely. It was just bubbling under there for the big push for the money.
Well, here we are. You can tell because it's in
down
green.
to 4 now. So
bubble situation.
The bubble situation. Oh, and he's going to find himself in a bad shape here with Ace Jack against King 5. It's funny. We've seen Eddie make a couple of very strange plays with some very, shall we say, creative type hands, and he's done very well. Bros was chip leader when we left. He had about 30-odd thousand.
Do you remember Bros?
I do. Sorry, we call it Brossy 12. How dare we bring back that wonderful pairing of the Bros boys.
Did you used to dress up and have a quiz and copy?
No, I was a little older than the Bros, so it wasn't. I was like, you know, when Bros was that? I was about 15, so that wasn't very cool.
You were more Sinatra age.
No, I was like, you know, as a kid, the Jam, people like that.
Police.
Yeah, no.
Rolling Stones.
No, not
Beatles?
a Stones fan. No, that was definitely a bit before my time. How would you think I am? Jeez.
Right. So now, okay, bubble situation. Does the play change here because people are worried about being knocked out?
Well, if you look at the chip stacks, there's no one really short. So, like, you've got Gringo as the who once chip leader now down to 10,700. You can see there, one before the button. with the blinds at 6-12, not really forced to make a move. So you'll see, you know, a little bit of, you know, bit of jiggery pokery now at the poker table. People trying to angle and don't want to go out. You know, all this time they've played, it might have cost them $10 or more because this is a rebuy tournament. So they're going to be looking to make the top three for sure, and it's very top heavy as we've seen. You know, it's a fair payday for these players.
I mean, sometimes you can take advantage of the bubble situation and become aggressive because people don't like to play because they're hoping other players will knock each other out.
But, you know, that was a big move from Eddie Test there. Eddie Test has been playing a very aggressive game, played a very solid game, making moves on Brossie 12s, you know, these weak flat calls. He's done it again. He's got ace-jack. All right, okay, I know it's, you know, a bubble situation, but ace-jack suited four-handed. This is a big hand. He should be raising this kind of situation. Now, Boone doesn't realise how bad a shape he's in, but, you know, again, people have been flat-calling Brossie's limps and getting away with making a move on the turn or on the flop.
So should Brossie be, you know, he's got position on Boone, he saw Boone check, should he have then said, right, okay, Boone's check, that usually means weakness, I'm going to bet, and he would have taken that down there?
You know, he's played it very passively, and, you know, he's not going to just change gear when, you know, suddenly he thinks he's now going to bet out on the flop. The mistake was compounded initially by not raising in the first place. He should be raising with ace-jack suited four-handed, and not be having to make, you know, a play like this in this position. Now, he was lucky to find that, you know, Boone didn't fancy him for anything, has made a raise, and a Brossie 12's called with the ace-jack because he is ace on the river. But if Boone makes that play on the turn, he gets away with it.
Are we also having to take into account here that we've got 4 players rather than 8? So suddenly your hand becomes more
Absolutely.
worthy?
Very good point, Michelle, because now, you know, your ace-jacks and your ace-10s and your pocket-9s, we should see a big match-up here, actually, are, you know, much higher value than they would be in a full ring game. We should call this with ace-queen, yeah.
Although half his stack is now in?
Well, ace-queen four-handed, it's a pretty much standard play. You're going to call the short stack all in.
It's also nice for Brossie because he knows he can't lose the rest of his stack to Gringo.
No, indeed. Now, I don't know what Eddie Test is thinking about here. Good flop for Gringo. Oh, the turn brings the killer queen, and we are now in the money. Top 3, so Brossie 12, Eddie Test,
Gringo
and Boone
on the bubble.
All in the cash. And I would have to say, purely by the way that these boys and girls have been playing, Eddie Test, I would say, purely on aggression and the moves he's been making, should take this one down. But let's see. Let's see if Brossie's, you know, passive play is going to turn dividends. I can't see it though.
With 3 players left at this stage in a multi-table tournament, does it become more of a crapshoot?
Well, not really, because the blinds are not enormous. That even with Boone being the shorter stack of the 3, he's got over 10 big blinds. He doesn't really have to start, you know, making mad moves, you know, in position. Yeah, it's good to pick up the blinds and make a play now and again. He's going to have to do that to keep his head above water. But he's not in a position whereby any 2 cards will do and he's lumping all his chips in. He's still looking for a playable hand, you know, some kind of base.
Sort of play left rather than.
Oh, definitely. And I suppose that's the nice thing about the multi-table tournaments with rebuys. There's a lot of chips in play. And it means that there is a lot more play than you would see, say, in the sit and goes that we often see here on Poker Night Live, whereby you get down to 3 players and the blinds are so big that it is a bit of an all-in fest. The last 2 or 3 players.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this shapes up at the moment. Obviously, Eddie first, Brossie second, Boone third. Brossie here, small blind with 9-5.
Boone should be raising this, really. Yeah, I like this play. You know, King Jack suited, 3-handed, good play.
Eddie Test is going to be dominated here if he decides to score.
Yeah, no. See, that's the way that Brossie should have been playing the hands that he's been dealt. You know, he shouldn't be limping in with these hands. Should be raising, putting people on decisions.
Ooh, now this could become interesting.
Yeah, I think we're going to see an all-in coup here. I don't think either player's going to pass their big slick, especially Eddie Test with the big slick suited.
How much is he going to raise it to? 20,000, all of Brossie's stack. He knows it's all of Brossie's stack.
Yeah. he's never going to pass this.
He's certainly thinking about it.
He's having a bit of a dwell up with ace king.
Ooh,
Yeah.
and it's in.
Instant call, there we go. And
Both
it's
hit a king.
Split pot.
It will be now, no flushes.
Pretty much odds on the split pot there.
So only the flush would have changed circumstances there. Which didn't come. Q7, pretty rubbish for Boone. Can't see him making a play here. Nope, not even worth the 800. Don't get involved.
Nope.
And this is a mistake I suppose a lot of people make. So many people think, I'm in for half, so I might as well come in for the rest when in the small blind, forgetting obviously that they're in worse position.
Yep.
And do you have to be able to put down your small blind? Is this an important part of
Yeah,
play?
I think so. You know, it shows that you're not just, you know, playing any two cards. It shows that you're a bit more considered about the play that you're making. And, you know, just because you've got half your... See, once your small blind's in the middle, it's not yours anymore. It's mine. Now, I know you're getting, you know, 4-1 on your small blind, making it up, but the problem with the small blind is you're always going to be out of position, whoever you're in the pot with, you know.
I heard quite a good... I don't know if it's a good point or not. I'll ask. I've completely forgotten what it was. Hang on, it will come back to me. Oh, yes. If you're trying to bluff, because obviously bluffing is an important part of poker, if you are going for a bluff, should you only be doing this when there's only 1 or 2 people in the hand with you?
Of course, yeah. It's always better to bluff to only one person, because the chance of them having any type of hand to you know, take you on is unlikely. There's no point bluffing to 4 and 5 players in a pot, because you know there's more often than not you're going to come up against a hand.
One of them probably has got something.
Yeah. Now there is a reverse psychology to that says, you know, would someone be bluffing into 5 players if they haven't got a hand, you know? And you think, well, all right, I've got top pair, but, you know, this player's now bet out, made a big bet, and he's under the gun, he's first to speak, and he's bet out. Am I beat? Is this good enough, you know? So there is that to it as well, but, you know, much rather... Yes, old friend of mine. Old Rutch Mather. No, you'd much rather be bluffing against one player, for sure.
A little tip for you to remember, guys and gals, because you do forget, you think, oh, I'm going to go for a bluff, not even thinking about the fact that you've got 4 people to bluff off.
There is a time and a place. Like we said earlier with the semi-bluff situation, there are times and places whereby over time you'll pick up knowledge when playing in particular situations whereby the semi-bluff or the outright bluff is going to work. It's down to you to make sure that you know when that is.
Oh, look at this. Boone has a 2 pair, but I don't think he's going to get paid because Eddie Test doesn't have anything.
Well, is he going to check this? I would actually check this against a very, very aggressive player like Eddie Test. I'm going to check it, give him a chance to bluff on the turn.
Which he does.
Which he has. So Boone now can move all in. Eddie can pass. And he's picked up a nice pot.
So the old check raise there. Absolutely.
Well, he knew that he was in position. He knew Eddie had to bet first. I think that Boone's quite a clever player. Understood that Eddie's been playing very aggressively, very fast, and he was going to make a move on it if he gives him the chance to. And with 2 pair, you can allow him to do that kind of move. Good play.
Oh, no one's hit here, but big board.
So.
Eddie Test there on the button, using his position to be the aggressor.
Putting a bit of a testy bet in.
And this is another good point as well, in that generally if you're sitting on the button and everyone's checked round to you, generally you can think, right, okay, this is telling me, this is a sign of weakness, I don't think anyone's got anything, I'm on the button, I can now make the bet and try and take it. But is it becoming too well known now? Are people now thinking he's only making that raise because he's on the button?
Possibly.
But then can they call if they still haven't got anything anyway? So.
Well, you know, the button is the most powerful position on the poker table because you're always last to act. So if you're going to make any kind of play, the button's a good place to be doing it from.
Because you know you can't get re-raised behind you as well.
Well, you can if someone's going to check raise you, which is always a possibility. But you know, he's put a small bet in there, Eddie Test, on the button in the previous hand there, and he's done the job. Now see if Boone fancies his ace-6 to the raise of Eddie Test. the way Eddie's been playing, you have to fancy that your ace may be good in this spot. It'd be a good opportunity, but no, he decides to pass. See, there's the power of aggression, you see. You put a bet in with the weaker hand, King 9 against the A6, and he's put him to the test, as his name would suggest.
Eddie test. See what you did there. Very clever.
Yes, you see. You see, Brossy here.
Sixes again. He's had them a couple of times tonight.
You know, a few rounds before this, he would have flat called with the sixes, but I'm glad he raised. Well, I hope so, because you know, the whole idea behind Poker Night Live is to hopefully improve a few games here and there. Hopefully, it's going to help some of our players.
So, what do you think about? I always struggle at this stage of a tournament. What becomes of your rag aces? Because you've still got the ace, but...
Well, in an unraised pot, three-handed, you know, ace is usually good. It's very unlikely you're going to run up against, another ace. So why not raise with it? Now, if it comes back and it's re-raised to you, then, you've got a decision. But most of the time, you're going to find yourself with the best hand.
Whereas obviously you usually would advocate in a full ring game, you don't play with a rag ace, you're going to hit trouble. People tend to play with things like aces. Again, as we were talking about earlier, down to 300, it's more unlikely.
Absolutely. You know, as I said, the chance of you hitting an ace come up against another ace is unlikely. Unless you got ace deuce against ace queen, which is a nice match-up here. Now, let's see how Eddie plays this one. Once again, aggressive player.
Just puts it down.
Good play. Wow, very impressive. So not only is Eddie very aggressive, he also knows how to lay a hand down. Boone's going to run into trouble here. Made a play against Brossy 12. He's put half his stack in, he has to put the rest in, really. He's priced in. Nice thing about it is he's got 2 live cards and he's hit. Look at that. And he doubles up.
Takes it down. I mean, third place is still $168. It's not bad. I mean, obviously, we don't know how many rebuys these guys have had.
But you doubt it's going to be any more than 16.
Yeah, I doubt they would have put
If it has, then they have a bit of a problem.
Yeah, not really a winning strategy there, then.
Now, Bross is on the short stack. And he's got, what, 5? Let's have a look. It's about 5 big blinds now, so he would be looking to make a move at some point. Can't afford to let the blinds go around too much. Oh, it was a nice match up here. 9s against King Queen. We could see some fireworks.
We're having a think, isn't he? King Queen is such an unpredictable hand.
Wow, look at this.
Right, well, looks
there
like
we
it's
go.
all in.
Well, he's got a call now. Lots of outs. There we go.
Oh,
There's
he
one of
gets
them.
it.
Needs a 9. No. So, new chip leader. Wow.
Wow, look at that. I mean, did Eddie Test do anything wrong there?
No.
No.
No. Three-handed, pair of 9s, raised. Boone's got King Queen, popped him back. Eddie's gone, OK, I'll have some of this. In we go. Pushed his chips in. Boone's had to call because he's committed most of his stack. And as luck would have it, he's finding himself up against a hand he doesn't mind to see, which is, his 2 overcards against a pocket pair. Now Boone can take his foot off the gas and let these 2 boys go to war. And Bross is in a bit of a bad spot here. 5 king against the pocket 6s, and he's 3 outer. It's all on the 6s on the river. Wow. He got lucky, then he got unlucky, I suppose you can call it. So we're heads up.
Heads up. Again, another completely different style.
Yep, indeed. But you would have to say, after watching the last, 4 or 5 players here, I think the best 2 players have now got it heads up.
I think we'll see a good heads-up game here between these 2.
Yeah, no, we should see a very good, a very aggressive game, although it could be over very quickly.
Really looking at that.
No, he's flat call with the King Jack. That's interesting. Is he trapping here, Eddie? Does he think he's trapping with the King Jack? Oh, this is going to be over now.
Yeah, he's going to be all in.
This is going to be all over, I think.
Unless he sees a jack.
Oh, he's trap checking. He thinks he's trapping Boone here with the King Jack. He's going to push it, I think, Eddie now. That's the play. No, small raise. Yeah, this is always going to happen.
Jack.
A jack and a jack only.
Oh, he hits his
and
string
Boone takes
kings.
it. 84,000 chips. Thank you very much.
Well, Eddie Testo takes away $252. Boone takes $420. Unfortunate for Eddie Testo, he played a good game.
He played a great game. He played a great game. He got unlucky with the with a couple of with the nines, especially was the real body blow to him because he would have taken Boone out against his king queen. But it was a bit of a tricky situation for him there. King Jack against Ace King. This come a king high flop. Heads up. Never ever going to get away from this one. So
no.
you know.
Nothing wrong.
Well played. Well, hats off to both of them.
Yeah, Boone did very well too there. So I think, like you say, the two that come first and second, well deserved of both of them.
Indeed.
But we have a couple of emails we should do now, actually, before we head off to another game. This is from Big Jace. He says, "Hi guys, great show as always. I have a topical question for Barry. Tonight, MPs have voted to ban smoking in all enclosed public places in England. Wow. Do you have any strong opinions, one way or the other, on how this will affect live casino games?"
Well, you're finding in a lot of the casinos now, especially in some of the poker rooms, that smoking is banned in some of the casinos. Now, I know at the Gut Shot especially, we banned smoking in the poker room environment a number of months ago now, and it went down well because, you know, smokers are in the minority. How will it affect the casino? I think you know, poker players are going to play, you know, irrelevant of whether it's smoking or not, and I think it will be good for the game that that smoking is banned, and I think that, like in most of the Vegas card rooms now, it's not affected the poker in a negative way. It's been a very positive move, and it's something I would welcome pretty much throughout the you know, the poker environments around the country. You
do sit in close proximity to each other when you're playing, and if somebody's smoking and you're not, it can be off-putting.
Absolutely, it's very unpleasant. I know when you know, I know when you sit next to you know. Poker can be that kind of way whereby, you know, someone's chain smoking, I've done it, and it's very unpleasant, you know. So I think that there are certain casinos and clubs, etc., that have smoking areas. Great, you know, keep the smokers away, get them into an area, and you know, try and keep the poker environment smoke-free as possible.
Well, thank you very much for your email. We're actually going to head over to a cash game now. We've finished our... No, we're not. We're going to do a sit and go, actually. We've just done our tournament. We've got a sit and go just starting. So let's head over there. $10? $20 sit and go, this one. We've got 4 king, ace at the top there. We've got I'm Not a Minger. That's Nick playing there in seat number 2, trying to defend himself again. That was a joke, by the way, people, before anyone starts having to go at me. Smoking Piper there. You actually won't be able to smoke, I'm afraid, Piper, anymore, as we've just found out. Big Shan, Snowblind at 17, Jack Alley, Mr. Perfect, and Doc Zoidberg, top left, up there. So tournament, we did watch a tournament earlier. I believe that was a $20 tournament as well, actually. So top 3 places will be taking a prize, exactly the same structure as the tournament we've just seen, but it's a single table tournament. Sit and go, because on the net you'll just find one, you'll sit down, and when the table is full, we'll start playing.
Right, well, I think the current tally is Barry 1, Michelle 0 as far as our picks go.
That's how it is.
Well, unfortunately it is, I'm afraid,
I think
Michelle.
you got lucky with King Whip there, and I think you had inside information as well, personally.
Well, I would like to point out to all of our viewers that we actually don't know the results of these
We
things.
don't, although it's a bit dodgy, we both picked people in the money.
That was good. Sure, you know, the nice thing about it is we see these players on a regular basis. We kind of can hedge our bets a little bit by picking, you know, players that we believe have got, you know, something more about their game than just, you know, luck-based. Bit of skill involved somewhere along the line. That's
trying to think about who to pick out of this bunch.
Off you go.
I think I'm going to go with... can we watch for 5 minutes and then decide?
No.
We haven't seen... You pick first and I'll pick second.
Okay, I'll go for someone who's not got many chips. Mr. Perfect, there we go.
You're going to go for Mr. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to go for FK at the top.
FK.
Top right.
Oh, 4 King Ace.
Yep.
Okay. Not something you're going to want to say on a regular basis.
No, so I thought I'd just call him FK.
FK, yes, good shout.
Well, King Ace, actually.
Yes.
Cool, go for the King, see? And you've got Mr. Perfect.
Yep.
Well, he limped with his 7s, and another one didn't come, so it was easy enough for him to say goodbye.
Yeah, the limp with the pair. He was advocating this particular play. You like doing this, which I think is a good shout. You know, you can. It's a bit of a stealth play because you can hit your set, and you know, it's very difficult to read someone for you know if you limp with sevens and it comes you know Jack 7 deuce or something. And you find someone with you know Jack Queen, Jack King, something like this. You could find yourself on the right end of a decent payday. I like playing pairs like that, I must say.
Yeah, I don't like to raise with the smaller pairs so much. The higher pairs, yeah, great, but the up till about sevens, I think, even maybe eights, I'm limping in. I don't want to spend too much because I know there's going to be overcards on the flop. If I don't hit my third, I'm going to be worrying about where I'm standing.
Of course. But you've got, you know, especially if you limped in, you've got away from it pretty cheap. You've only, you know, paid the big blind if there's been unraised pot. So
I'll
why
probably
not?
go for raise on the button actually. Maybe sitting there with a pair of sixes, I might go for the raise.
Yeah,
on
why
the
not?
button.
It's good to mix your play up. You know, limp sometimes with it, raise sometimes with it, so no one can actually pigeonhole you for what kind of hand you may have or may not have.
Do you think it's a good idea to show your card sometimes? Because you do get the option.
In certain situations, I think it's a very, very good idea, especially, say you've been playing very, very tight, you know, and people have you down as a bit of a rock and you've not played many hands and you get involved in a pot and you show down a bluff. What a great way to completely, you know, put other people totally against what they think of you in the first instance, and they don't know what to make of you now. What has he got? Has he got something? Is he bluffing me again? Or likewise, you played a hand very strong and you show a very big hand, and now you're saying, okay, watch out, I'm a rock, but you can now use that to your advantage by making a few plays. So, but
I mean, sometimes I find myself wanting to show when I've been making, when I'm drawing to a hand, and I don't want them to think, you know, and they take the hand, I think, and their hand isn't that strong. I don't want people to think I'm coming in here without a hand, so I'll show them I was drawing, but then you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't because...
I wouldn't, that's not something I would do, is, you know, show you're on a drawing hand and then having to pass or something like that. I would, look, you don't want to be showing down a bluff and then think, oh, okay, I'm going to start bluffing again, because people are going to figure you out eventually. And likewise, you don't want to show down a massive hand and then just stay rocky. You know, you want to adjust to what you're showing down exactly the opposite. So if you're going to show a bluff, tighten up. If you're going to show you a rock, loosen up.
So there's a purely psychological reason here.
Absolutely. Some people, I know there are some people in the game, will never show a hand to give no information away whatsoever. I do. I like showing hands down now and again. That's just me. Some people don't like showing a hand down, which keeps you guessing across the board until you're actually at showdown.
Something strange that happened in the live game actually that I played was when one of the others, I made a bet, they folded, but she flicked over the ace. She didn't show me the second card, but she showed me that she'd had an ace, and there was an ace on the board as well.
And I thought, what do you think that tells you?
I thought, well, she's trying to tell me that she has a hand that she's folding because she thinks I've got a better hand.
Yeah.
But I thought, why not show both cards? Why show me just the one?
Well, because probably that person had kicker trouble. That they said, okay, look, I've had an ace. I think you've got a better ace, and I'm going to lay it down. So
Okay.
I don't like that play, and I'll tell you why I don't like that play, because it's kind of showing weakness.
Yeah, I suppose it is in a way.
It's like saying, oh, you know, you can get me off top pair.
Yeah.
There you go. And it's like saying, it's like a big flag saying, okay, come and bluff me. Bluff again.
Yeah, you make a good point
I could
there.
lay down top pair. So, you know, there's something I wouldn't advocate. But as I say, you pick a style that you feel is relevant to your game. It's nice that you can do it online as well. Unfortunately, I know I think there's one site you can actually just show one card now.
Oh, is there?
You can pick it whereby you can actually show one card before you muck your hand.
I mean, I have enabled the part that allows you, because before it just mucked you every time.
Yeah, if you tick
but
the
I've now
muck
enabled it, so it
box.
gives me... I mean, it does become quite annoying, because every time now it comes up and it gives you the choice,
Muck
and it's starting to
cards
get
or
on my
show
nerves a bit.
Yeah.
But I'll keep it on just for now, just in case I want to show.
Yeah, quite rightly so. It gives you the option if you want.
I mean, if you don't get there quick enough, it just mucks them anyway,
Yeah.
so... Do remember to text us in here. We're looking for Valentine's Day. Obviously, we've passed the midnight spot, but we're still saying, who would you most like to spend the night playing poker with? We've had some good ones here, actually. Some people emailing in. So who would you like to, most like to spend the night playing poker with? And remember that 62211 on the text, and poker@pokernightlive.co.uk on the email. So we're back on a tournament. They've all paid $20. They've all been given 1,000 chips. I'm backing King Ace at the top right there. Barry has decided to go Mr. Perfect. Let's just see how perfect he is. What does he do with his nines?
Pocket nines. Hopefully he's going to be raising your man's big blind with his pocket nines, and quite rightly so on the button there.
I notice that each game that we watch, and it also happens on the net, a table tends to get a standard pre-flop raise that everybody does. It's either 3 times the big blind or 4 times the blind, or people are just doubling up. Just 1 times the blind. It seems to get into a
Yeah,
thing
I don't know
for
if
the
it's
whole
actually
table.
down to a table. I think you'll find that there are certain players that will only limit raise in certain positions with certain hands. There are some players that mix it up. I like to keep my raises there or thereabouts, 3, 3.5, 2.5 times the big blind, depending on what position I'm in, depending on who's on the blinds against me, etc. So, again, it's all down to personal preference, what you think is going to work. There are some situations whereby, if you've got aces or kings, you might want one caller against you. There are some situations whereby you're raising with pocket sevens here and you don't want a caller. Well, Mr. Perfect, just doubling the big blind, get away with it here with the hands that he's finding himself up against, but I would make it a little bigger because something I'm not really wanting to take to a flop, pocket sevens.
Well, big slick at the top there for Doc. What type of raise is he going to be slipping in?
See, another limit raise, you see, we've seen that 3 or 4 times now at this table. Just the limit raise, which might actually price Big Shan into this one.
Oof.
Ooh, a re-raise. So Doc's little limit raise is done very well.
Re-raises again. Big Shan in trouble here.
Yeah, I think the warning signs have gone up. He's saying, okay, my ace deuce, I don't think's in good shape now. I'm going to probably lay this down.
Ooh.
Although he could go all in, which he has done. Okay, that's one way to play. Very unnecessary. Needs a 2 or a 9. No. And you've got to question that play with ace deuce. The re-raise, okay, you put the guy to the test, you've raised with the ace deuce saying, okay, I'm going to put you to the test on this one. But when he's come back over the top, you have to think to yourself, not a good shout.
I mean, it's a big risk to take it at such early stages of a tournament. The risk that we doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Well, there's the how much our players are winning when they play, what percentage of those hands they're winning, and you can see Jack Alley and Smoking Piper. They do have a 100% record, but they've probably only
Maybe they haven't played a hand yet.
They may not have played a hand at all, except for their blinds.
FKA at the bottom there, your choice.
He's not doing so well
Not
as it goes.
so clever. But early doors, very early doors yet.
He'll be all right. He's got my style. He
He'll
gets
be all
nothing at the beginning, and then all the cards come.
You
at
can't
the end.
win it from 7 players out, that's for sure.
So in this game, I suppose you need to accumulate chips and protect the chips you've got.
You do. But with the blinds only at 20, 40 and the stacks relative to that, you don't really need to get too much out of position with these kind of cards. Well, not with pocket threes especially.
I must admit, my strategy in tournaments tends to be slightly looser at the beginning while it's cheap to come in and see hands, and then tighten up as the blinds start to raise. Seems to be how I do it. I don't shoot about. I get into the money.
Do you play more sit and goes than cash games?
I used to. I now play more cash games.
Okay.
I've swapped.
Why?
I don't know. When I
Do you
first
enjoy
started,
it more, the cash games?
I never wanted to play cash games originally because I enjoyed the tournaments. I enjoyed the fact there was a structure. I enjoyed the fact there was a beginning and an end. And I found myself getting very bored on the cash games. And but now I've swapped. Now that I've started to be able to, do you know what it is? I know what it is. I can play hands more now. I like to be able to play a hand. I like to be able to play the flop and then play the turn and then play the river depending on what I've got.
Mm-hmm.
And I seem to do better at that. Whereas in a tournament there is an element of luck, and then you get to the end. And I think I had a few bad beats. I got to the bubble and I was chip leader, and had a few of them times where you were ahead, but you're not getting knocked out by a lesser hand. And I had that a few times. I thought, ooh, and went over to the cash games, kind of got stuck in the cash games. I'm doing well on the cash games at the moment, so I suppose while I'm comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
They are very different, though. They're very different types of play as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh dear, Mr. Perfect's way out of shape here. Needs some help. Oh,
When he gets it.
Oh, that's nasty. And poor old
Oh
FKA.
no, that's me.
Mr.
Just
Perfect knocks
noticed.
out your horse, unfortunately. Sorry about that,
All
Michelle.
in with a pair of tens.
Yeah, well, he's done nothing wrong. It's come a raggy old flop, and Mr. Perfect has decided that his ace
He's
king.
your guy and all, right?
Yeah,
Swear.
Mr. Perfect decided that his ace king might be good. Although he's got outs, he's got. If he feels that. Poor old
Should've
FKA's
called.
not got
What's
much
he
of a hand.
calling?
Yeah, I know. Well, he raised actually, to be fair, which was perfect for FKA because with pocket tens he was never ever going to pass that raggy flop.
I think I deserve to pick another one.
Go on then.
I can't see right now, but let's have a little look. I'm going to go for. I'm actually going to go for Smoking Piper.
Okay.
Even though I should go for Doc because he's chip leader, I'm actually going to go for Smoking Piper.
I don't want to alarm you, but actually, Mr. Perfect's chip leader,
Obviously,
my man,
obviously.
in pretty good shape.
The only reason I'm going for Smoking Piper is because I don't want people to think I'm just going to pick the chip leader.
Good. Jack Alley checking his top two, trying to induce a bet from I'm Not a Minger. He may induce a bet if a 10 comes, though.
And Jack, Queen, King, Ace, that's what he's looking for. He's got the gut shot.
Yep.
It's a lot of money for the gut shot, though. He's not getting odds there, is he?
Well, no, because he needs a 10. He may think that his ace is good as well if the ace comes, which is not, but that will give him 7 outs on the river, which is, it's if he believes that he's got a king. So
it's actually a good point. While I've just said that, we haven't spoken about odds at all tonight yet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wouldn't mind, I mean, I just said there he wasn't getting odds to call. What are we looking at here, and why are we saying
he
these
bet
things?
200 in I think it was a 640 pot. So I'm Not Minger's got to call 200 to win 840. So he's getting 4 to 1 on his money. Now, this is all very well and good, but you've got to understand this is not a cash game, this is a tournament. So that 200 is out of his stack, and it will leave him pretty short if he did call the bet. Now, aside from being a tournament, let's look at the basic stats of this one. Very simply, that I'm Not Minger's got. If he believes it that Jack Alley's only got the king, which he doesn't know, but if he believes he got him beat at the moment, then he may think his aces are good. So there's 3 of those, and the 10s, which would make him the nuts, are good as well. So he's got 7 outs, and roughly there's say like the cards that he doesn't know about 40 odd cards left in the pack.
Mm-hmm.
So 7 out of 40, what's that? That's going to be 7 to 1 or something like that. 6.5 to 1. So statistically, he's not getting the odds to call.
So he's going to win that hand 1 time in every 7, or 1 time in every 8.
He's got 7 outs into 45. Was that 5? Yeah, 5, 6, 6.5 to 1, something like that. So if he believes he's only got the king. If he's not, if against Jack Alley's King Jack, he's only really got 4 outs, and that's simple. 4 outs out of 40 odd cards, that's 10 to 1. So 1 in 10 times is going to his 10.
Right, 1 in 10 times. So what he's got to think to himself, right, if I always make this decision, 9 times I'm going to lose, and 1 time I'm going to win. So the 1 time I win, I need to make sure I'm making more than all the money I've put in for the other 9 times I've lost.
Which is never going to happen with these blinds and the bet that he made. So, he's bet 200 into 640 pot. As I said, he's getting like 4 to 1 on his money. He wasn't getting 4 to 1 odds to hit a 10. He wasn't getting 4 to 1 odds to even hit an ace or a 10. So
I mean, the odds don't come into play as much with the tournament, like you say, do they? Because you start.
No, because unless it's a rebuy when you can you can reload, or it's a cash game where you can go back into the cashier and get some more chips. This is a sit and go. That's a freeze out, so you've only got the set amount of chips. So odds play a part, obviously, but less of a part because you can't keep dipping into the bag of chips. Mm-hmm. So that's. And
odds work both ways as well. You'll find that if you do know your odds, you can start giving people the odds not to call. in particular situations.
You may
can
flop
use
top
it
pair.
against
You may
other
flop
people.
top pair against with 2 clubs on board or something like that. Now, you'll know that to hit a flush now, if someone's got 2 clubs in their hand, they're 2 to 1. You don't want to give them odds of 2 to 1 to make the call.
So you make it too expensive.
You try to. You try to. Well, there are some players out there that will never lay a flush draw down.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ace Queen here, King Queen, Smoking Piper's King is ahead. Come on, call him, because I'm back in Smoking Piper now.
I don't think he's going to get a call though. Poor old I'm Not a Ming. He's played Ace Queen twice and up against both times when he's got outdrawn quite badly. Ah, my man with the kings. Now
There
let's
they are,
see if
Cowboys.
Snowblind. Yeah, Snowblind's going to run into some problems here. If he thinks his Ace 10's not bad on the button, I think Mr. Perfect's soon going to tell him that his Ace 10's no good.
Well, bear in mind the blinds are 81-60. We've only lost 2 players, so a lot of the time we've lost more than this at this stage. Ooh.
Needs to miss a diamond, a 10 and an ace.
Oh,
that's just so not fair.
Look who's gone out.
Mr. Perfect with the King Kong. Played it perfectly as well. Got his opponent in pre-flop with the ace 10 against the kings. He's a 30%, or should I say 70-30 favourite to win the hand. But the runner diamonds.
Look at that. You get to pick someone else now as well.
No, he's not out. He was chip leader
Oh, he's
before
still
that.
in
No, he's still
there.
got 910.
Right, you don't then.
He's still in good shape. Oh,
7, 8, 9,
I'm Not a Minger
10.
got out of that
6,
one.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah,
Look at
choppy,
that, on board.
split pot, straight on board. The Queens get the classic no limit hold'em matchup. Queens against the Ace King. Bit of a coin toss.
You can't talk tonight, can you?
Yeah.
Have you got ticklish feet?
Have I got ticklish feet? No, actually,
Have
no.
you parked in the park arc?
The car park. I can't even say it backwards when I'm trying to. The park arc. Yes.
Well, look, pre-flop action, what does this tell us?
What does it tell us? It tells us that I'm Not a Minger has been the most aggressive, with 18% raise pots pre-flop. Mr. Perfect and Snowblind just behind I'm Not a Minger.
And he called 3, he's been very aggressive.
And it shows you, that Jack Alley's not been that aggressive and called 9% of the time. So it's a good chart, this one. It shows us quite a lot of good information about the players that are currently sitting down. Cool, look at this. Mr. Perfect once again gets a nice pocket pair, and he may get paid here with Jack Alley with the 9s.
Jacks is still slightly scary sometimes.
It is, but in these sit and goes, it's a big enough hand to be getting your chips in with. And Jack Alley's going to find it difficult to lay down the 9s when he's stuck pretty much it's not going to happen to him again, is it? Even though he's hit his set. Oh, no, it's okay now. He's hit the house. Back up to... Oh.
So he did Jack Alley.
They both got houses, indeed, but the Jacks over 7s beats the 7s over 9s. And Mr. Perfect, normal service resumed. Back to the chip leader. Thank you very much.
Wow, look, come on, Smoking Piper.
The bully's looked into his crystal ball. Mr. Perfect is now coming up trumps.
Ooh, look at him go.
Big move. Big move.
Queen
with the
6.
Yes, good move. It's a big move, for sure. Very aggressive move, but...
Taking down those blinds.
Didn't find any...
Ooh, here we go again.
There we go.
Best hand.
Mr. Perfect. Jack's full. Or as they call it, the boat. The full boat.
Is it the full boat?
Yeah, that's a house.
Jack's full of 7s.
Well, any house is called a full boat.
Mate, you're going to need all this poker lingo when you're having a little chit chat with the
Well,
guys
yeah,
you're
it's
playing
good
against.
to throw a couple of bit of
Oh, look, we've
poker
got the
term.
binaries there in Smoking Piper's hand.
Yeah.
Dr. Tom worked out that in binary actually means 10.
Really?
Yep, 1010 is 10 in binary.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
We'll take the doc's
So
word.
three
I have
three
no
pocket
idea.
pairs in this particular coup. Look at this, 10s. Doc had deuces in the small, and I'm Not a Minger with pocket 5s in the big blind. Smoking Piper's not decided not to play this slow.
Yeah, wants to take them blinds again. He's got a call from the 5s. That's a very odd call.
Dear. Oh, possible straight flush draw for 6 of hearts. No.
Doesn't count.
Smoking Piper takes down a nice pot.
Oh, we got into the lead.
Your Smoking Piper is in the lead, looking good. Oh, it's all nip and tuck. We won't talk about FKA, who went out very early doors to
No,
Mr.
we'll forget
Perfect,
about
but
him.
we call Smoking Piper as your choice. I'm happy to see a bit of a nip and tuck scenario now for the.
And I have to apologise for stealing Casper's catchphrase there.
What's that?
Look at that.
Look at that. Is that his catchphrase?
Catchphrase.
Is that it? Is that as
He
good as
uses
he can
it
do?
every time he works. As
It's
well.
not really, I don't think that's going to go down in the annals of UK folklore of the catchphrases of the century. Look at that.
He's really proud of it.
Doesn't work really for me. I don't know about you.
I'll be trying to come up with my own one, but I haven't had much luck.
Yeah. Poker doesn't strike me as being the catchphrase type.
Do you not think?
Type industry. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe that's what's crying out for.
Oh, a couple of catchphrases thrown in here and there.
Yes. Who knows? And as a double award-winning show, it's probably down to us, down to Poker Night Live to come up with these.
Do you know, I was working the night of the awards with Matt Broughton.
Yeah.
And James actually from the office turned up. Few beverages in him with the award. It was quite good actually. He come live on air, he come and plonked it on the table. It was brilliant. We did a few close-ups of the bum on the statue.
Oh, look, can we rewind? Look at this. Smoking Piper's so lucky. He's got it all in with 4s against 10s, and he's hit the 4 to make a house.
Nice.
Make a full boat. I think it was 4s over queens.
Look at him go! Look, we've lost someone else. We were yapping.
We
there
have,
well.
and that was the bubble position. And Smoking Pipers, look at this. He's taken this by the absolute scruff of the neck, and looking good to take this one down.
And I picked him when he wasn't chip leader.
Yeah, after
I thought he looks like a tight. He's been quite tight. He hasn't.
After your first one got knocked out, but we're not going to mention that if he goes on to win it.
No, we won't, will we?
No, we won't. We'll mention that at all.
Mr. Perfect there.
Look at that.
Look at that. Don't, he'll kill you.
No.
You won't like it.
3 monster hands here. Look at that. 8-6, 5-8 and 4-7.
Brilliant.
Between them, they could make something really pretty, like a 3-card straight and a pair.
It's not how the game was played, though. Unfortunately,
No.
you can't swap cards.
Look at this. Go on. Keep nicking Miss Smoking Piper's blind, Mr. Perfect. That's good stuff.
We'll let you have that one.
Ace-8. It's anyone's game, It really is anyone's game. No one's in any real bad shape. Snowblind sitting there pretty comfortably on 2,000. It's now Smoking Piper with the Ace-8. Pushing in. Can't see him getting a caller from Mr. Perfect with the nut Hold'em low, 2-3. Oh dear. Your man with the aces. Oh, Snowblind, what's he done? It's all gone Pete
He's
Tom.
tried to steal at the wrong time.
It's all gone Pete. Oh, he's hit 2 pair. What a result for Snowblind. Oh, the 8's come and killed his hand.
Hey, now I've got 2 fingers.
Oh, the House of Kings. Look at this.
Unbelievable.
Only on Poker Night Live are you going to see outdraws of this magnitude. Marvellous stuff. The aces in front at pre-flop. Snowblind pushes in. Flops the 2 pair. Snowblind's jumping around the front room. Up the 8 comes. Snowblind's now about to kick his computer in the head. If a computer had a head. And then Snowblind catches the king on the river. Kings over 3s. Thank you very much. Take it to the bank. Smoking Piper on tilt, about to go out third. Possibly.
Unbelievable.
Oh, look at this. He's got it all in with King 4 against A7. He's going to be out third. Oh, Smoking Piper. And now he's got 80 chips left.
He's got 80 chips left, and he's going to make a comeback, I'm telling you.
Okay.
He's not having that. Come on, you can come back from this.
The
I've
ace
seen
and the
worse.
diamonds.
Come on, you can double up here.
I need a fan down. All this excitement. Look at this. He's made a flush.
Got a flush. He's doubled through.
This is massive pot.
It's not a problem. Look, 240. He's coming back.
How did that? Was that a split?
No, you go. Oh.
Did they chop it? Oh no, there was a side pot. That's why. He won. He won like a bowl of rice. He's all in again. Ace Jack against. Oh, he's up and down though.
No, he's.
Oh, look at this.
I've told you. What did I tell you? Look, he's doubled through again.
We're coming 480. He's still yet to have a big blind. He's still not got a big blind, but Wow, look at this.
Not a
It's
problem.
Fast and
Come
furious.
on.
Sit and go.
He's
Fun.
in for the big blind. He's got a queen 5, suited.
Wow, the
He's
king
going to be
deuce
all
getting
in.
out of shape.
It's
With
not a problem.
Mr. Perfect, I think it's gone to his head. Smoking Piper can't pass. He's got most of his stack in. There you go.
Here we go. Come on.
King's good. Looking to avoid a 5 or a
Ooh,
queen.
come on,
Now a
5
deuce
or
as well.
king.
Went it for Smoking Piper. Oh no! He's hit the.
Look at that.
He's hit the wheel. The wheel on the river. What is this boy all about? He's come back from the dead.
1,440 chips from 80. What did I tell you?
Wow-wee. Different gravy, this boy. He really is. Not saying he's got lucky on like 4 occasions, but he's done well. Done very well, the lad.
Indeedy-doody back from the dead, but he's halving again. He's going to struggle. Free ride.
Look at that.
See,
got
the
to walk.
catchphrase is good. It's up there. It's
He's
in.
got to walk.
Oh dear, Queen's
Could be
low.
carnage here.
Ace.
Come on, Mr. Perfect. Just a little raise. Maybe make it 1280.
You can put it down this time, Smoking Piper.
640. Look at this. Tricky play from the button from Mr. Perfect. And he's hit a set. 2 diamonds though. Is he going to play it slow? He is. Hoping for Snowblind to play tomato sauce, which is ketchup. Coined a phrase last night. Tomato sauce play. Hoping
That's wonderful.
Do you like it? James enjoyed it actually. It worked last night because it was off the cuff. Maybe tonight, where it was a bit more contrived. But hey, that's just that is.
No, it's very clever.
Ace deuce against 9's lovely jubbly. Smoking Piper's going to end up with a 2nd place. Oh no, no club, no club, no club, no ace. I thank you.
Hey, look, I'm hanging on in. It's
Wow,
really
2nd. Look at this. 2
We're
good
down to
choices,
80.
Michelle. Me and you, first and second.
again. I mean, we will forget about FK earlier. That was
Who?
just, yep.
Who's that?
Don't know. Look, Ace King, get it all in there, Smoking Piper. Come on,
Why he's
perfect.
flat calling with Ace King when he's only got 800 chips left? I've got no idea at all. And now he's let Mr. Perfect overtake him. He wants to get it all in.
Oh dear, need an ace or a king or it's all going to be over.
It's all over.
Oh no!
I spoke too early. Smoking Piper, 28.
Look at him
He's
go.
1 double up away from being chip leader.
Come on, Smoking Piper.
Will this be the comeback of Poker Night Live go down in the annals of history?
To 80.
Down from 80 when the blinds were like 160, 320 or something like this.
And he's come
Unbelievable
back.
play.
He can beat the bully and he's in and he's got his 8.
Oh, no,
Come on.
no.
We
Come
don't
on.
want to see an
6,
ace or a 5
6,
or a 6.
6.
Hey, look at
No,
that.
chip leader.
Chip leader from 80 chips. We're
Wow.
now chip leader. This is brilliant. I'm not
No,
going to
this is-
gloat at all when I win, don't worry.
That's good, man. Raise him with the king deuce. Why not? Picture card. Heads up. Why not?
Come on,
Make a
Piper,
raise.
you can take this down. We hopefully get the end of this in before we have to go to a break. Smoking
Come
Piper.
on, Mr. Perfect. Nice little double up now with the king
2-4 can be put down, Piper.
Oh, he's having a dwell up here. Is he going to make a move with the 2-4? Might work.
No, he's not.
It may work.
Right, come on, guys, because we've got about a minute.
He's got him dominated here
Oh,
if he can make
dear.
a move. Go on, Piper, call it.
Oh,
Lovely stuff.
we need
Just
a
wants to avoid the
7.
7.
Give us a 7. Come on. You know you want to. 7.
There we go.
Oh dear.
Chip leader's changed hands once again, Mr. Perfect.
This is a problem though.
Normal service resumed.
See, look, I'm still chip leader.
Is there a chop?
I'm about to, yeah, it was chopped. But let's just carry on. Look, all in, Queen 5's going to get called. Need a queen and a call!
No, what's going on here?
Look at
Yes,
this.
the jack!
Queen, come on, another queen.
The house
Oh,
of jacks, the full boat jacks over 3s against.
Unbelievable.
Wow, I can't take no more of this.
I know.
We're gonna need a break.
I think we're about 30 seconds. We're not going to... Oh no, what's
don't do
happening?
this. This is outrageous.
What's going on there?
Excellent.
Hey!
Oh no, this is nip and tuck.
This is too much.
The big 7-4 suited.
Can't we wait? Can't we be a bit late for the break?
The jack 6.
Oh, we've got 30 seconds. I think it's
Is
going to be over by
smoking going to
then.
fancy it? No, he doesn't. Wowee.
Come on, we need this to be the hand. Queen 7 suited, King 10 could be.
Suited computer hand is the Queen 7.
Yep, we're all in.
Come on. No nasty King, Queen. Yes, that'll do. All over. Thank you very
it's
much.
over.
Take it to the bank. Mr. Perfect cleans up.
Unbelievable. We're going to have to go straight to a break, guys and girls.
Wow.
We'll be back in a minute. Well, good morning and welcome back to Poker Night Live. And by golly, isn't it all happening here?
Let's all go.
We did have to move pretty quick just before the break because we had to see the end of that action on the tournament. What an amazing comeback. And what did I say? I said he was going to come back, and he did.
Come back to come second to Mr. Perfect.
Yes,
my choice.
While
we were full 8-handed.
Well, do you know what? We've got a chip movement graph of that game, Barry.
You know what it's going to show?
I bet you were right.
It's going to show that my man won.
Yeah, but look at that.
Wow, look at that. Look at the swings.
Wow, look at
the pigs and the troughs.
The pigs and troughs.
The pigs and troughs.
Still a bit confused as to which is worse. But yeah, no, it was a good game, very enjoyable. And it just goes to show it's not over till it's over.
The fat lady has sung.
She did sing.
And she's singing a tune like Mr. Perfect. I would break into song, but it's far too early.
Oh, go on. Dr. Tom did the other day.
Really?
Yeah, he sang Happy Birthday.
To who?
Some person that said it was their birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Stick to poker.
We have,
this is not Song Night Live.
Shall we? We have an email here from Kev Steele. Hello, Kev. He says, to Michelle and Barry, I'm not sure whether you can talk about what percentage poker is luck without specifying a period of time. For example, if I played one hand of poker against Phil Ivey, I would win 50% of the time, so it is 100% luck. If I played him over 10,000 hands, I'm 99.999999% sure he'd be beating me at the end. So over a long period of time, the skill factor is over 99%. I've only been playing for 6 weeks and I'm interested in using a poker tracker. Can you recommend one, please? Are there any good ones that are free? I'm doing okay in multi-table tournaments, but only breaking about even on the cash games. Maybe because people know my game better, and I'm too lazy to track other people's styles of play, so I think a tracker might be useful.
No, they're very, there are a lot of tools. We said this earlier in the show, you might not have been with us, Kev, but there are some really, really good tools out there, like Poker Tracker, which is on pokertracker.com. You have to pay a fee to use the particular tool. It's a download. And basically you feed it. It's only as good as the information you put in. So if you're not going to be fastidious and get all your hand histories, some sites actually give it to you as a full situation into a text file into your computer. Sorry, a bit technical. Some you have to actually physically download and put into Poker Tracker, but it's only as good as the information you put in. So if you're going to be very clear and understanding about what Poker Tracker is going to give you, and you're going to use it to its nth degree, then great, go and use it. There's Poker Office, there's loads of other tools out there you can use. As I say, go into a search engine, type in poker tools or something like that, and you'll find ones that will suit your game and suit your technological ability. As far as the percentage situation about skill over luck, absolutely right. Over a period of time, the luck evens itself out, and the skill will always outwin the luck situation. So you'll find, like we said earlier, the better players in the world will win money. The not so good players in the world will end up as losers.
Now, we have had people say to us before, if everyone's using poker trackers, then everyone, the game will be boring because everyone will know what to do all the time. But a poker tracker is just telling you what you can work out yourself, isn't it? So a lot of it's psychological. You can never exactly know what somebody's got and what they're going to do.
No, but the nice thing about getting the using Poker Tracker is it puts in all the hand histories, which gives you, some sites actually give you information on the hands that you've not been shown down. So he may have raised with Ace King and everyone's passed, but that information will be there for you to use. So you can not only get information about what other people are playing, but also give you information about your game. It'll tell you in a chart whether or not you play Ace King too aggressively. Is an Ace King a winning hand for you? Do you slow play aces too much and lose with them a lot? These kind of things that these tools are meant to do is to help you along the way to make you a profitable online player. And like I said, they're only as good as the information that you actually put into them. So if you're prepared to do the work, they will be beneficial over the long term.
Thanks, Barry. And we've got an email here from Jay Magic. Good evening to you, Jay. He says, hi, Barry and Michelle. Great show so far tonight. Thank you. Just a question regarding bankroll levels and sit and go levels. What ratio should I keep to when choosing the level of a sit and go I play depending on my bankroll? I ask this as it is commonly said on Poker Night Live that for cash games one should have a bankroll of 2,000 times the big blind, but I haven't yet heard of similar references to sit and goes. And he also says, P.S. hope to see you, Barry, at the gut shot this week, sometime for my first live fiver tourney. Pritesh, you are a bit of a resident down at the gut shot as you run it, aren't you?
Indeed. Well, I'm down there occasionally.
On the odd day.
On the odd day.
So you might run into Jay Magic this
Let's
week.
hope so. Hopefully we'll see him down there very soon. So, talking about your bankroll levels, when you're picking a cash game, you want to pick a game that whereby it's not that small for you, whereby the money means nothing and you're calling raises with any old hands. But you don't want to play too big where it really hurts you. You want to pick a level that you feel comfortable, that you can take a bit of a hit and it's not that damaging to your life going forward, but you don't want it too small. So I'm sure you'll find a level out there. There's so many levels out on online poker now, whether it be the micro limits at 5 cent, 10 cent, right up to 100, 200 no limit tables you can play. So somewhere in between that range, you'll find a natural level for you. As well as the sit and goes, you can play $1 sit and goes, you can play $1,000 sit and goes or multi-table tournaments. So I'm sure that you'll find something out there that's going to suit your range.
Excellent, and quickly an email from Jiggery Pokery. He says, I feel cheated when I don't get my premium pairs paid off due to outdraws or people fold to my raises early on. What % of the time do you think your premium pairs will get paid off? Am I being too expectant of their value? And is there any advice on how to play them?
Like the name, by the way, Jiggery Pokery.
Jiggery
What a
Pokery.
cracking name for an emailer. So thanks for the email. You're not getting them paid off. Now, you have to analyse exactly what you're doing with your premium pairs. If you talk about premium pairs, aces and kings, now, are you slow playing them too much? Are you raising enough? Are you just trying to limp in, trying to catch people in the blinds? And if you're not getting paid, then maybe you're raising too much. Maybe you're making it 4 and 5 times the big blind. Everyone's passing to you. I'm sure you can analyse your play. Maybe either use a tracker system like we've been talking, or even write them down, a note system. Work out what you're playing, what limits you're playing, how much you're raising, how many callers you're getting, etc., etc. Try and analyse every hand and every session if you possibly can to work out what's going wrong when you're playing your premium pairs. So try and analyse this. Look at how you're doing it, and I'm sure over time you'll work out the right strategy to play your premium pairs that will prove beneficial and profitable in the long term.
Excellent. Well, I think we're now going to head over to another sit and go.
Excellent. I don't know if I can take the fun actually. It's far too
much.
It's too much. Palpitations and stuff.
It's getting old. It's not his fault. Well, we're going to look at that. We're going to go to another sit and go, but it's a $10 one this time. So we might see a bit of a difference in play there. So let's head over and see who's playing. Oh, not really. I'm only joking. You're not old. You're only 47. That's fine. That's not old.
See, you're just bitter. I'm 2-zip currently in the commentators' challenge for picking players. I'll tell you what'll be interesting.
Right.
I'll let you pick 2 players against my 1, okay? How about that? Did you fancy them odds?
Yeah, I'm coming in for the bit of that. Right, let's have a little look. Right, Whoopass is going to be my... Oh, sorry, Whoopass.
Whoopass!
It's going to be my first choice.
Okay.
And my second...
No, you're not going to pick Cat O'Nash, are you, by any chance?
It's going to be Cat O'Nash.
Oh, yeah, there's a surprise.
Do you know what? I bet you still beat me and all.
Okay.
So go on, who are you going to have?
Okay, let me have a little look at this. Because he's got ace king, I'm going to pick folding. How about this?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to do enough folding, you know.
Do you think so? We'll see. We'll see.
How can I lose this time?
You can't. It's going to be virtually impossible for you to lose, especially now my man's been outdrawn.
I mean, this is a pretty huge chip lead these two both have, actually.
Well, Cat O'Nash is monstrous considering we're 20-40. Obviously, he's got involved with the player that's gone out and ironed him out very quickly. So.
Oh, here we go. Leaderboard, there you go.
Poor old S. Snakey has departed early doors.
Snakey.
And you've picked, surprise,
Look at this, you did say I could have 2, so I've got Cat O'Nash and Whoopass. It's nothing to do with their chip stacks. I've had a quick look at their style of play. I like what I see.
Please. Don't give me that.
You've got Mr. Fold in there.
Yes, indeed. No, it's a load of waffle you're giving me. I didn't look at their chip stack. It says. Yes. You just like the names.
I bet you still win. You seem to be on a winning roll.
Is that what it's like?
I reckon you've got some inside information that I don't know.
Yeah, right. No, you know.
To be fair, my guy come back from the dead pretty much in that last game.
From 80 to second, when he had no right to even get anywhere near the money, because you put the Michel jinx on him.
I did. I kept doing that to poor old who was it? Can't remember his name. Cyberdoc. Poor old Cyberdoc. He used to do really well, and as soon as I started backing him, he started losing. He even texted in saying, "Can you please stop backing me, Michelle?"
The night nurse jinx has done it for you. Yeah, marvellous. So we've got. Wouldn't it be nice, per se, that we actually get 3 of our players into the top 3? It'd be great, wouldn't it? I tell you what, you could have one of your players a monster chip leader here. Look at this, Ace King against Queens. Your 2 players getting busy, and you got Ace Jack in the middle, absolutely monted up here.
I see Sophie Vinny there, maybe going out.
I think we're going to see it. Yeah, we're going to see.
Unless we see some clubs.
I think we're going to see some carnage, actually, because the Ace King's not going to pass to the re-raise, I'm sure.
Always in.
Oh,
Look
the
at
Jack!
That. The Jack hits! Unbelievable.
Sick! It's no good because the Queens have got him covered, but the Jack beats the Ace King, but the Queens are good.
Well, so when he does go out, Whoop-Ass, who was my first choice, goes in.
Was your first choice. Quickly slipped in there, Whoop-Ass.
And when I picked him, he wasn't the chip leader either.
No. Good name, though. Obviously opened up a can of Whoop-Ass on both Cat and Ashed and the poor Ace Jack.
Oh, we could see another hot flush, even though it's not Valentine's anymore.
That's kind of the Valentine's show.
It is.
So what we got here? We've got an up and down straight and a flush draw for folding against second pair with the monster kicker in the deuce. Come on, folding. A little bet will win this. No. Oh well. Takes it down. Small pot.
Another Ace Jack. Not much else out there.
Taz Axel with the Ace Jack. Limp from Fast Fits 1. And a limp from Taz Axel as well. Very interesting. Priced folding in for this one. No one hits.
Low board. Ace Jack there is in that position, so does it decide to go for the bet and take it? No. I think a bet there might have done it though.
Well, no one's actually taken this pot by the scruff of the neck. Don't like the Ace Jack play one little bit. Had a good opportunity to raise it.
Twice now it's been checked round to him. You would have thought he would have gone for it.
A bet should win it for anyone on this board, I think. Who's got the kahunas to make the bet?
Well, it was checked round again, surely.
Well, Taz Axel being the... Look at it, a
like
token faulty. Yeah, it's like, I don't really want to bet, but I'm going to try my king, I might be good.
It's working.
Look at this, it worked a treat.
Takes it down.
So, bluffing into 3 other players, usually not wise, but
you don't see it checked all the way to the river like that, though, do you?
Not usually. You usually don't think that 4 players have all missed, but they all did. Not a pair between them.
Had a really, really strange hand that happened the other day. I was on a small blind, and I hadn't played a hand for ages, and I thought I had 2-3 suited, and I thought, well, I'm going to put in 10 cents to make up to the big blind, whatever happens. And then my phone went, so I picked up my phone, and obviously when it come up, I clicked on call, and the guy before me had raised it to $2. Now bear in mind this is 10 cent, 25 cent, and I've called it and then gone, oh no! And then what flops? 3 2s. So I had 4 2s. I couldn't believe I had quad 2s. I thought, am I going to get paid? 5 people in the pot. Somebody ended up getting a house, and I ended up winning $40. I couldn't believe it.
Did you thank the person on the other end of the phone?
Do you know what I did? And I was on the phone throughout the whole thing, and
Yeah, quads are kind of easy to play, aren't they?
yeah, because a
You'll
lot of the
find.
time you don't get paid because nobody's going to put any money down. But luckily somebody had an ace in his hand, and an ace come up, I think on either the river or the Shannon, I can't remember. So he had quite a good full house. Didn't think anyone else would have the two.
Well,
There
not
I
when he's
was.
raised it $2 as well. It's you know, it's not.
And I didn't.
it's
I
a big
completely
raise.
slow. I didn't put any money in. Obviously, when he put a bet in, I would sit there for a few seconds and make him think that I was trying to work out whether to call or not, and
the
all
old,
that. You know,
the old Hollywood dwell up.
it was brilliant. And I was saying to myself, please don't remember that I called a $2 raise of my 2-3 suited pre-flop. But everyone was in the chat box. You know, well played, good hand. So I don't think they remembered.
Well played, good hand. Yeah, I'm sure the guy with the ace as well was saying that, wasn't he?
I don't think so, no. I think he left, actually, because obviously he was all in the end. Shame I didn't have more money I could have won off him.
So where's the titometer, as it's been, well, as I've called it?
Is this what this is, the
Well,
titometer?
yeah, it kind of shows you who's been folding the most pre-flop. As you can see here, let me put, no, it's this side, okay. Let me try, I'm trying to get, there we go. At the top here, we've got Gan241, who has been the tightest player. And right down the bottom, I'm just quick look at the monitor. Okay, down here, my monitor's in the way. Whoopass has been the loosest player because he's folded the least
He has,
pre-flop.
yes.
So there's the...
You just need a red dress.
I need a stick. It's like a Jon Snow. I need like a big board with an arm on it. And
One of
it's
those...
the titometer.
You know them little clickers he has in his hands? What's he doing? Is he playing Skylectrics with that?
Really?
Slim
Oh,
straight.
right, yeah, okay, I understand. Don't the weather girls do that with the old button on me.
Yeah, they're playing Skylectric.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know, I really don't do it as well as Lee Evans.
No. Lee Evans. Oh, was that a joke?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
They don't really play Skylectrics while they're reading with the weather, Barry.
Oh, okay. Don't they? Sorry, I'm being very naughty, I shouldn't.
So you're allowed, it's Valentine's Day. You know, I did the Christmas show with James.
What date was it? Christmas Eve or something? Or
Yeah, it was the night before Christmas Eve was our last
Okay.
live night. And I did it with James, and we had a bit of a giggle. And we tried to get a Santa's hat, and we couldn't find one, which was a shame. But we got a lot of impressions out of Mr. Browning.
Shame I wasn't about.
Oh, not much here.
No,
Middle
we've got
pair.
gut shot
Top
straight jaw
pairs.
for folding needs a 10. We've got second pair for cat and ashed, and fast fits with top pair with a piddly little minimum bet with the 80, as the blind's currently 40-80.
So we've lost 2, 6 people left in this sit and go tournament.
And your choice, your first choice, I may add, Whoopass, still looking really strong there on 35.90.
Yeah, Gan, Cat and Tazaxel here all got a little bit of work to do. Tazaxel's not that bad, and bear in mind the blinds are only in their 3rd stage. And still a lot of play left.
Yep, loads of play left.
So what do you prefer to play, Barry? Sit and goes, tournaments, cash games? A mixture of all 3?
Yeah, if I'm going to play online, if when a cash game, I'd usually going to play something like I'd like to play Omaha usually in the cash.
Ah, Nick plays a lot of Omaha,
Yeah, I like to play Omaha. Pot limit Omaha, I enjoy playing online. Tournament-wise, I love multi-table tournaments. They're great, and sit and goes I enjoy as well. And the problem is, you know, with the busy schedule that I've got, sitting down to play, 400 and 500 runner tournaments, which you get regularly online, I just haven't got 5 and 6 hours to
sit and do it.
To actually sit down and concentrate that long a period of time. As you can imagine, with 4 kids.
Yeah, especially one as young as you've got as well.
Yeah, no. So when it comes to a quick poker fix, I'll go and sit down maybe a $50, $100 sit and go, give it a spin and see what happens.
I mean, you must play quite a lot of live games, really, as you.
When I'm down the club, oh look at this, you're 2 going to war once again.
Ooh,
Looking
nines.
looking very good shape. And only a 10 would have got him out of the mire, but didn't. And you've lost,
I've lost
one of your horses. But it's not exactly to the detriment of Whoopass, because now he's even bigger chip leader with 39.50 and
Ian,
looking.
he was my first
Looking
choice.
good, looking very good. But I prefer it now. We're a heads-up scenario. We've got folding in good shape. We're 1100. He's plenty of play left.
Not too bad there.
Yep. Yeah, I like to play a tournament now and again. We have
one big monthly tournament, a 250 freeze out that I always play at the Gut Shot, and it depends when I'm down. When I've got a bit of spare time, I might sit in a cash game for half an hour or something, see a few of the regulars, and you know, there's some decent tournaments we have down there, like the 50 freeze out and stuff. I might play occasionally, but as I say, I just don't get time.
So the games that are going on the particular days, is it all on the web, is it?
Yeah.
And does it go the same for a lot of the places where you can play? Can you just look it up?
Usually, yeah, you can just, you know, just go to our site and look up and see the schedule. I think we run, it's like 16 tournaments a week.
Wow.
You know, we have some days with 3 tournaments. Most of the days we've got 2 tournaments a day, and it's very, very busy. It's good. I would, not because, you know, I have an interest in down at Gut Shot, but, you know, purely and simply, you know, playing live poker is really good fun.
And it's very different to poker on net, I find.
It can be, you know, it can be a little bit scary for some people.
I mean, I put on, I've got quite a nice chips there, which Dr. Tom stolen actually, and like I bought one of them tabletop poker things as well.
Oh, the fold-up jobs.
Yeah, the fold-up. I've got the hexagon one
nice.
With the little chip things and somewhere to put your beer. And I had all my mates around, and there was seven of us playing, and half of them hadn't even played before. So I spent ages teaching them how to play, and then I come fourth.
Really?
What was all that about?
All calling
Couldn't
stations.
believe it.
You know, the hardest tournament to win down at the club is we have a £5 rebuy tournament on a Tuesday night. Tonight. We always get 130, 140 runners, and it's the toughest one to play because you're playing against novices whereby you're trying to make a bit of a move against them and they're making calls with very strange hands, and you know, you can't read them because they don't really know what they've got. So if they don't know what they've got, how are you supposed to read them? You know, they're reading really strong and they got third pair and they move all in and you're thinking, Jesus, my ace king, well, it's probably not very good anymore, and you fold and, you know.
Well, they turn over
high. Filth. But no, it's...
Yeah, I wasn't happy. And I had to deal with the stick for the rest of the week because I was supposed to be the poker player.
4th out of 7.
You can't blame my mum. I mean, me and my dad both know how to play, and my other friend that was playing, we all knew how to play. Mum's sitting there with all the chips, you know. She's like, no idea what she's got whatsoever. Like you say, she didn't know what she had. That was the problem. Very difficult to play. Great fun, but I just find that when I'm playing I actually make silly calls. When I'm looking at the internet, I can see how many chips I've got, I can see what the bet is, I know what I'm putting in relative to what I've got. When I'm sitting at a live table, all of a sudden it's almost like the chips are different, and I'm making bigger moves when I shouldn't, I'm calling raises which I shouldn't, and just it's really odd.
Your whoop-ass man's run into a bit of trouble here.
2 pair
Fast fit, yeah, Fast Fit's flopped the 2 pair, and whoop-ass caught the 9 on the turn to make him 2 pair, and he's doubled Fast Fit's up, and
Fast Fit's gone into the lead.
Yeah, now I tell you what, we've got a 3-horse race. Well, in relative terms, we've got a 3-horse race here. Got Fast Fit's folding and whoop-ass all on around the 2,000 mark. Fast Fit's is a chip leader now, with, as you can see, just a tad short of 2,500. Pocket 10's going to take this one down. And we have another game on our hands, Michelle.
Look at this
We have another game on our hands.
Come on, whoop-ass, live up to your name.
Come on, Taz Axel, get busy with your 9 so folding can get busy with these jacks. Lovely jubbly.
He's going to be all in. Why not just put the extra
Stick it all in,
in,
son. Don't muck around with the jacks. Come on. You're 5-handed. It's no time for this slow playing business. Good man. So, just looking to avoid a 9.
So far, so good.
Stuff.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a 9
Folding.
then.
Top fella.
See,
Now
look,
chip
I knew
leader.
you were going to beat me in the end. It's happening again.
It's early doors. Very, very early doors. Loads of play left. Blind's still only at 81.16. Both our picks are in very, very good shape. And as soon as Gan gets out the way, was it Gan gets out of the way.
Who isn't my dentist?
Pardon?
He isn't my dentist.
He isn't your dentist?
He was playing the other day, and I thought it might be my dentist.
Really?
And he texted in saying, no, he's not.
Why? Has he got the name of a
Because
similar
my
name?
dentist is called Gan.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
He texted in saying, no, I'm not
Do you get many poker playing dentists?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was only telling him about it
Maybe
a
just,
couple
you
of
know,
days before.
maybe he had a
like,
bit of spare time just doing a quick filling time. Okay.
Ah, that was good.
Maybe he only plays limit. Maybe he only plays limit. You know, always like capping the bet.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, I'm trying my best. I can't think of any more dentists / poker puns.
Oh, he did the action.
The slash.
Slash.
Yes.
And deck.
He's got a hand here. The ace queen dentist.
So Fastvick's probably going to call here, because even though he's only got
Absolutely.
10-4. Now he's ahead.
Now he's ahead, but lots of cards can beat him. That's not one of them. Any diamond, any ace, any queen.
Oh,
There's the queen.
there's the queen.
Double up for the dentist.
We're on the bubble situation as well.
Why is there can you work out, can you tell me why there's a medical theme running through poker players' nicknames?
There is, isn't there?
You're the night nurse, we've got Dr. Tom, we've got the playing dentist over there, we could now call him. Any idea?
I know, but do you know what, that night, it was my first night ever on Poker Night Live back in July, all them months ago. And we decided to get me an AKA, because obviously I decided to start to play. And everyone was coming in, blonde fish and all this stuff, and someone coming in saying, it's got to be Dr. Tom and the night nurse. And I was like, oh, it's going to have to be, and it's just stuck. And I use it online as well. And a couple of people have said to me while I'm playing, are you night nurse from Poker Night Live?
Good. Oh, you call yourself night nurse online as well?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Which was quite nice, actually. And I ended up having a chat with them and stuff, and they ended up helping me through, actually, and helped me on my first multi-table tournament. And
So here we go. More stats for us. The playing dentist, GAN 241. Folded a lot pre-flop and a bit on the post-flop, so he's been the tightest player.
we'll pass a bit loose down at the bottom there.
Yeah, looser.
Looser.
Yeah, but can't really complain. Chip leader.
Yep. Oh, we're all in, look.
Oh, needs to
Mr.
avoid a
Diamond.
diamond or an ace. Mr. Diamond, yes. Look at this. What? Look, it's not bad, is it? We're heads up.
Heads up again.
Yeah.
Look, we did it again.
Oh,
We must know something about this game and these players.
tens.
And honestly,
Oh, he's
we
made a
don't
move
know.
against my man with tens. Come on, Folding. Lump it in, son.
It's all right, because we're going to hit the king.
Go on
It's
then.
not a problem.
Can he pass, though? No, he can't.
It's all right. The kings are coming.
Oh, oh no.
What did I tell
Come
you?
on, the 10. Come on, the 10.
It's not a coming.
Oh, dear me. And it's a straight will pass as well. Look at that.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He is
Jeez.
indeed whooping your ass.
Yeah, well, come on, it's one hand. He's lumped it all in from miles behind.
I told you I was going to.
Come on, Folding. Don't be silly now. That's it.
I can't believe we've been heads up though all 3 times.
Oh, look at this flop, though. Look. It's flush draw.
Ooh.
Just
come
missed the
on,
spade and the king and the
come
6.
on. Hey!
No!
And it's a 1-all.
No. 2-1.
2-1.
2-1.
Fair enough,
Okay.
fair enough.
Oh well, I congratulate you on your 2-1 situation. But hey, look, you had 2 choices. I will go back to the situation. You did have 2 choices against my one.
Yeah, but that was my first choice.
That was your first
to
choice.
Be fair.
And how good are we? First and
We are,
second.
aren't we? And honestly, we don't
We
know
don't.
these. There's only
Absolutely.
a 5-minute delay
Hand
in
on-
these games, and we're not told, so we don't know, do we? Should we look at the chip movement for that
Don't
particular
rub it
game?
in. Please don't. Say, my man had all the chips at the end because his graph goes up. Yeah, go on.
Is that really how I speak?
No, I'm being pimping.
Now let's have a look at this lovely chip graph, and let's have a look at the little
Look at
pink
that.
line there.
They put
Ooh,
Will Pass in pink just for you because you chose him. Very nice.
nice and pink for me,
Nice
and yours
and
is in
pinky.
white.
Yeah, going down violently at the end when it was a nasty outdraw with pocket 10s.
Nasty outdraw. I think my guy just played better than your guy, that's all.
No.
Well, look, Smoothcut's emailed us again. Hello, Smoothcut. He says, hi again, guys. Just wondering, when do you stop playing, apart from when you are feeling you are not in the zone and or uncomfortable the way you are playing? I.e., do you set a limit, 20% of max buy of the total tables you're on, or keep playing if you are going well, running the risk you get a bad beat and lose the night's profits? Conversely, when you lose 20% of max buy and stop, I say 20% as that's my guide. What's your views? It's a good comment, actually.
Yeah, if you're feeling you're running bad, I would say, to stop yourself going on till, stop playing, go and grab something to eat. Stop playing for a day, stop playing for a couple of days, for a week, or whatever you want to do. But just, try and get it out of your system. That's what I would say.
It is very
Pretty
difficult. I mean, we were actually talking about this earlier, weren't you? When you're up, when you're doing well, sometimes you want to carry on playing because you're in a good zone and you're making money and you're making good choices. But if you carry on, you could get that bad beat and then lose it all. It's really difficult to know when.
Yeah, it's running good and running bad. You should. You should stop. You should stop. You know, either way. If you're feeling tired, if you're feeling like you're going on tilt, or, you know, a number of factors that you should make yourself stop. One of them would be, you know, when you've taken a bad beat, it's never a bad time to stop, because, especially if you're down, then you don't want to be chasing. You don't want to be chasing, you know, good money after bad. So, you know, that would be the guide, I would say, basically.
That's good. A good comment from you, Smooth Cut, as well. Thank you for that. We're going to a... What do you fancy?
25.50
Should we go to the cash game? Excellent. Let's head over there, because we've had a few tourneys, haven't we, tonight?
We've had lots of tourneys. Very good tourneys as well.
They were good.
Nip
good
and
fun.
tuck.
Nip and tuck. That's your catchphrase?
Nip and tuck.
There you go.
Oh, it's nip and tuck.
I might just steal one. Cash back of the net.
You're like the queen of catchphrases.
No, I've just been watching Alan Partridge recently.
That's fair enough. Never a bad start when it comes to the catchphrase.
No, not at all. Well, here we are, back to our 25-50 cash game. This is my dad's game, the governor.
It's all a little bit after the Lord Mayor's show, isn't it, really? You know, after the sit and goes.
I know.
The frantic fun, the nip and tuck, the ebb and flow of what our
pigs and the troughs.
The pigs and the troughs. Yes.
And here we are back.
I'm still trying to pick some kind of pun when it comes to the pig and trough, but I can't. It's too late, and it's been a very long day. But look at this, Johan Horan. Consider it's a 25-cent, 50-cent game.
£50 max.
He's got the absolute cake, hasn't he? $274.
You even MCR there 3 times what he bought in with, maybe.
Yeah, it's excellent play. $274. Wow, nice return.
That's what you want.
If he bought in for 50, that's, you know, over 5 times. That's whacking profit.
Well, similar players to what were on this table earlier on this evening. Tragic Trev still there, who we know is also Duff Miver, and he spent Christmas Eve with Dr. Tom.
He did.
Yep.
Down in sunny Hampshire, was it, or somewhere?
Somewhere like that.
Yeah.
That was good.
Crunching carrots.
Yeah.
Only
Working
joking.
out odds together. Bringing the Christmas celebrations.
Was that as kind of under the radar dig there, Michelle?
Never. I never would.
What are you trying to say? Tom's like kind of, you know, pocket calculator kind of guy. One of those boffs at school that, you know.
Yeah, but he's a real doctor, isn't he?
I don't think so.
He is.
Is he?
Yeah, didn't you know this? He is a doctor of baboons.
Is he offered some kind of medical
honestly,
treatment to you or
honestly,
something?
he is a doctor of baboons. This is the truth.
He's a baboon doctor.
He is, because he's actually a doctor of the something or other of something or other. I can't remember. It's to do with monkeys.
You actually bought that one?
No, it's true. He spent 2 years in Borneo or wherever it is, looking at the psychological things of monkeys.
Does that make you a monkey doctor?
He is a real doctor. Honestly, it's not a lie. He's a real life doctor, and he looks at the I can't remember, a baboonologist or something.
This is blinding stuff.
I'm trying to remember.
You're saving all your best
title.
material for the last half an hour.
Do you know what? I'm really trying to remember the exact title, but he has letters after his name and everything. A chimpologist, that's the one. He's a real doctor, ladies and gents, and he spent years studying them in their of primates.
Do you think that what makes him a good Poker Night Live commentator?
Not that he studies monkeys.
Maybe, I don't know. No, I mean the psychological angle. Obviously, I'm not saying that the players that we watch here are monkeys. I'm just saying that you know, it could be for the psychological value of understanding people's personas and. Don't go on Google and try and find out.
I'm not. I'm
Yes,
doing
you are.
something else for you, 'cause it's really funny. Hang on. I haven't
Okay.
spelled this right, so let's try something.
Let's have a look here. What's going on?
Now you commentate.
I will. You tap away on your keyboard. I'm going to commentate for a bit. Well, it's all frantic stuff at the moment on this 25-cent, 50-cent game. We've got an array of, you know, possible kind of drawing hands. Jack 10 suited on the button there for Johan. Decides to play aggressively, as is wont. And who am I to argue with? $270 odd in front of him from 50. Obviously doing more than one thing right. If the mark could only see what hand he had. And I'm sure if he tunes into Poker Night Live, in about 5 minutes' time, he will. But probably not a hand he wants to be calling a raise with Queen 10 suited, especially out of position as he is. Looks like a fold, and 'tis a fold.
I'm showing Barry a picture. I'm showing Barry a picture of Dr. Tom. If you go on, this is hilarious. You have to do it. Go onto Google and put in Tom Sambrook, and a picture of Dr. Tom will come up, and that's S-A-M Brook. Go to pokernightlove.co.uk to get his name. Click on images in Google and get a picture of Tom, and then put it as a half, and then get a picture of Gene Wilder.
Just as Willy Wonka, no less.
And put them next to each other, and it's one and the same. I am telling you, isn't that the same person? That is the same person.
He's definitely got the Dr. Tom wardrobe. Yeah. With the frilly shirt and the
Frilly
big
blouse.
fluffy bow tie. Yes, excellent work.
Oh, very good.
I can see you have oodles of fun over there in Essex. Hours of fun looking at comparing people's photographs.
Has to be done.
Who told? Is it something on the forum that someone's?
No, Dr. Tom told us that someone said he looked like Gene Wilder, and then he
Really?
told us that someone said he looked like Mick Hucknall.
It's the strawberry blonde. He doesn't like to call himself a redhead, just strawberry blonde. Yes. It's all good stuff. So what's going on? Oh, array of paint on this board. Queen Jack. Tries to limp in. Ace King raises MCR there. Tyre saying no thank you.
The other day we were actually, Casper and I, we had our question of the night was to get anagrams of poker names and people in the poker world. That was quite a good night, working out anagrams, and people were texting in working out anagrams of Casper and I's names.
Okay.
And they came up with some good ones actually, but Nick Wealthall's had to be the funniest. I can't say what it was on air, but if you put Nick Wealthall in, something quite funny comes up.
Yes.
And true.
You think so? Do you know by... No, I'm going to go there.
Don't go there.
Let's stick to the poker.
Well, our cash game had a lot of excitement tonight on our tournaments and on our multi-table tournament earlier as well. It was a good final table.
Groundbreaking stuff here on Poker Night Live this evening at the first multi-table rebuy tournament.
Yeah.
And hopefully the first of many to come.
One of the best comebacks we've seen in a long time.
Yep. Your man did well from 80 chips to end up second. That was a feat difficult to...
In the last stages as well.
Yes, indeed. The final stages.
10 Jack Queen Ace gut shot for Johan Harren. He's decided that's enough to make a bet. Fast fits. Doesn't have anything to call. Either does Tyre there. Johan Harren takes it down. Add more to his monstrous stack of chips. Eyes to Fear has joined us. And Nick in the one. $25.50 table. Pair of fives for Nick. We've got the Ace Jack out there.
Limping. Who's hit? Eyes to Fierce hit top pair. What else? Not much else really. Not much else.
Line 310. Eyes to Fear, top pair. Made a bet. Right thing to do. No one else has got anything to call here. So there you have it. Top pair made the bet. He's asking the question, do any of you have anything? Doesn't want to give them a free card. Ace 10, 10 Jack, pair of Jacks, Ace King. We've got some hands here. Ace King's decided to limp in. Usually you see a raise, don't
yeah,
you?
and so have the jacks, which is all very strange.
It's the Ace 10 that
Now,
takes
poor
them.
old Nick N1 is thinking to himself, oh, a couple of limbers, I'm going to give it a go. I think he might find himself in a spot of bother.
And a re-raise this time.
And called by the jacks. Playing it very relaxed, the jacks. Hoping to see a flop lower than the jack, and hasn't got it now. Poor old Nick.
And completely
Hit
kicked
top
here.
pair. Hey, does he think he's checking it as a trap? Maybe he does. It's a fishy little $2 bet.
Ty didn't want to see that Ace and Queen. It's
No.
a bad flop for a pair of jacks, but he's gone for the
He
re-raise.
says, no, don't believe you guys, I'm going to raise it up.
Well, Nick's done well to put it down there. A lot of people carry on with
Yeah,
top
no,
pair.
he did well. But if he felt his ace was no good, why did he call the re-raise?
Yeah.
You know?
Good point.
Ah, there you go. Maybe he's looking for a 10-eye flop, which means that Tyre would have been all over him like a rash. So,
Oof. Now, Fast Fits is certainly getting what he can out of Ty here.
yep, he's checked it to him again. Flat called, and I wonder what Ty's actually putting Fast Fits on. He's checked to him Ty some flat calls. He put him on some kind of straight draw. Not likely with the Ace Queen 8 board. Yeah, Ty's done well to check the end there, thinking to himself, this doesn't smell so good, I'm going to just check it.
That was a big pot for Fast Fits. Ace Queen for Johan Harron. On the small blind, he is going to be first to act, so he's in a very early position.
You know, you were speaking earlier about you did some commentary on some drag racing.
Yeah, men dressed up as women running as fast as they can down along
Did
the
you
track.
did you get into any of the cars? Did you ever go?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't ever have a go. I really got into it for the summer that I did the drag racing, and it was really interesting actually. And to actually be there, it's actually a big adrenaline rush. I never actually had a go of one, but they used to have a bit of a halfway through. They'd have a guy that used to do one of the drags with a jet engine. The Jetster, and everyone, you have different types of drag racing
Was
cars.
it all like Santa Pod and these kind of
Yeah,
places?
Santa Pod. It was the European Championship, so it goes all the way around Europe, and it starts and finishes at Santa Pod.
It's
It's
all
huge
strange.
in the
It's all
Scandinavian
like this funny
countries.
car category and all
Yeah,
these
you've
different.
got funny cars, you've got top fuel, you've got methanol. They really it's huge in the Scandinavian countries,
Yeah.
in Germany, but there's a lot of followers in England. But it's just a very difficult sport to get into because it's very expensive and very dangerous.
I can imagine.
But yeah, it's a huge adrenaline rush, and most of my time was spent at the end of the track, and I was doing the interviews to the guys that were getting out. So these guys have started off at the beginning, and it's really loud. There's a lot of people, a lot going on. They do the race, and they come to a stop at the end. Now the end of the track, it's only a quarter of a mile, but the end of the track is half a mile to 3/4 of a mile later. It's dead quiet. So they've got in their car with all this going on, and they get out, and it's tranquil and peaceful. And the buzz that these guys have when they were getting out of the cars, it was brilliant. It was really good fun. I did enjoy that a lot. But it's very much you're either into it or you're not into it. No, it was a good experience. And most of them didn't even speak English, so it was really fun doing the interviews with
I can
them.
imagine. So, Stefan, how'd you get on?
Yeah.
Yes, 4.1 on the quarter mile. Okay. Or whatever the times were on them.
Oh, it was a couple of years ago now. I've forgotten everything. It was good. I tried to take an interest in whatever I'm working on, you see. It's like poker. I started on here, and I wasn't told I had to get into poker. But for me, whatever project I'm working on, I find to be able to ask the right questions, I need to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but in your professional capacity, you have to know your subject matter, don't you? You have to get
definitely.
into it, and
And I found out that I highly enjoy playing poker.
Yes.
And I'm making a profit at the moment, if only a small one.
It's good.
I need to be sponsored now for the World Poker Tour. What do you reckon, Barry?
Why not?
Got 10 grand sitting around you can
Let's have a look.
lend me?
No, I've got. Let me check my pocket. How about £4.30?
Not going to get me very far, I don't
No.
think.
No, I'll get you into
Get me the bus to the airport.
£5
That's
a year.
about it.
Your BFH.
Trip 2's for Gan. And only a pair of 8s for Fast Fits. Will he pay 3?
Can't see it.
Yes, he
He
did.
does.
On the money.
So have you ever been in any of these big, huge tournaments?
Yeah, I played a few. Played a couple of World Series events.
Wow.
Played some European Poker Tour events. But, you know, Gutshot's been open a couple of years now, and it's been, you know, very difficult to get away from you know, day-to-day running of the business without, you know, spending too much time away from the ranch. And, you know, since it's been open, I've had, you know, well, since Gutshot's been around, I've had two other kids as well, so
Yeah, so a bit busy.
difficult to get away. Although I'm very lucky because of we do live coverage from the World Series, the main event. Last year I spent in Vegas 3 weeks.
Nice.
So that was.
I would love to go to Vegas.
You never been?
No.
Wow. Well,
Like
it's,
to go
you know,
this
it is
year.
the mecca of poker. You have, you know, you should treat yourself, especially during the World Series. The World Series of poker is the place to be for any poker player. All the best players are there.
Does it happen at the
biggest
same time
prize-
every year, the World Series?
Used to happen during May every year, but they moved from Binion's Horseshoe downtown, and they've now moved up. It's going to be full time now up at the Rio, and
okay.
they've moved it to the main event's now the back end of July. I think it's the 24th of July, and it's on for like 9 days. There's 8,000 runners they reckon for the main event,
Wow.
and it's a $10,000 buy, and it's going to be an awesome situation. 4 day ones, 2 day twos. You know, it's.
I don't know anyone to go with. Try and get my sisters to come with me. Can't see it.
Well, it's, you know, I know Poker Night Live are, you know, hoping to do some live links from the World Series, and I know Sam was over there last year with the crew doing some reports from the World
Yes,
Series.
I think they should send a woman this year.
They should do. They should,
I think they should.
Well, it worked for Shana Hart in the World Poker Tour. Why not? Why not? The night nurse over in the World Series.
It would be good to go to Vegas, actually, just for the buzz, you know.
Oh, if you've never been, it's a cracking town. Absolute cracking town. Especially for a single girl like you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure it won't be for long. Moving on swiftly. Anyway, look, let's get back to the poker. We've got 3
Look, King
monster
8,
hand.
look at that.
It's a monster hand against 4-5 when it's been limped.
Oh, not anymore.
Oh, it's a big outdraw here.
Backdraw, flush draw for him there, you never know.
It's the hearts. Will we finish on a heart
Will
flush?
we? Now that would be good.
That would be, you know, perfect timing. Not this hand.
It's not going to happen. But we've still got, a couple of minutes.
It was quite funny. I was looking on a particular poker forum, just talking about flops. I was looking at a particular poker forum, and there was someone had emailed, someone had actually posted up a picture of they were playing on a particular client, and the poker software had gone a bit funny, and it churned out about 9 cards on the flop.
9 cards on the flop.
The cards were kind of going off the edge of the table across. There was 9 cards on the flop, and like it was.
Someone's sitting there with the completely nuts hand that's
Yeah,
never
they
been
both
about
had 2
before.
people with quads. You know? It's good for the pot, but you know, it was quite funny to see, I must say. A rare occurrence, you know, when it comes to.
Yeah, they're usually pretty spot on, aren't they?
No, they're very
Like-
good. A lot of these, you know, it's getting a pretty mature industry now, the online poker game. So
It's
you know,
huge.
yeah.
I can't believe how big poker's become over the last
I was
year.
looking at, I was being involved in the you know day-to-day business of poker. You get to see some of the stats that some of these poker companies, the biggest who are, I'm not going to, you know, talk about on air, but the biggest poker company out there online is making that's the industry figure, $1.4 million a day in rake.
Really?
$1.4 million a day in rake. Yeah.
Shall we make up our own little site?
That would be, yeah. Unfortunately, there's you know, there's a number of very big players out there now with, you know, enormous marketing budgets to go out and acquire players, and they're doing a very good job. I was just looking at industry figures. On a daily basis, $240 million a day is being waged on online poker.
Really?
Yeah, and they say there's only around the world there's only about 350,000 players around the world compared to the enormous market of sports betting, which
Yeah.
they say there's about 50 million regular sports bettors online in the world. So that gives you some idea of how big online poker could
So I should
actually
be able
get.
to find a sponsor for a measly 10 grand.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll start writing
No,
some
no.
letters.
You know, all jokes aside, you know, you're in a. you're in good shape, because there are very few, you know, women players out there that could, you know, that someone could hang a shot on and look good doing it, you know. So why not? Why not give it a go?
Yeah, why not?
Would you like to be sponsored? Go around tours, playing the big events?
Oh, I'd love it.
You'd
Do
like
you know
that?
what James was telling me about the ship he went on? It was like a poker ship, and they just play poker.
Well, it's not actually a poker ship. It's one of the cruise liners that gets, you know, they fit it out in tables and, you know, all nice stuff, and you know, it's supposed to be really good fun. It's just like, you know, wall-to-wall, 24/7 poker for like 4 or 5 days, I think it is, with tournaments every day, cash games
that would
going
be
all the
good.
time. Yeah, that's good fun.
I mean, my dad actually, my mum and dad told you he's been playing a lot of poker lately. Him and my mum
Doesn't
went
want to go on a poker cruise.
No, they went on a cruise, a normal cruise, but they had poker being played on the ship.
Really? Excellent.
And yeah, he ended up being about, I think it was $800 up in the end, so it paid for all of their stuff on the
Wow.
ship while they're out there. My mum rang up a week into the cruise. Oh, how's it going? Oh, yeah, I'm a poker widow, she
I've not
says.
seen- yeah, some
I'm
people are
off playing
golf widows.
bingo.
Yeah. Ah, it could be worse.
But he said it was a very different style of play to what he was used to. I mean, the way it was played, it was Texas Hold'em, but you could only bet a certain amount until the flop, and then
So
you
it's
could bet
limit.
more on the turn.
Limit poker.
And then they put it up.
Yeah, it's
at the
limit
end,
poker,
yeah.
like 3, 6, 4, 8, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is, if it's an American-run ship, you'll find
Yeah,
that
it
most of the games are going to be limit, which is, you know, it's a different type of play, but it's something you'll find pretty much across all of the casinos in the US. They do play some no-limit cash games now, but most of the time you'll find it's going to be limit poker.
Yeah, well, because of Poker Night Live, I'm a completely no-limit poker player. I have played limit, and I played in a limit poker tournament completely by mistake and ended up coming second. But it lasted longer, and I didn't like the fact I couldn't raise it up when I wanted to. And
Well, you can raise it up, but you know, you're usually going to get called down because you can't make the big moves, and you know, you're only ever going to be able to, you know, limit raise at every opportunity.
I assume you need to know your odds more.
You do. That's you know, the odds in limit poker are much more important because, you know what the bets are going to be, especially in a heads-up pot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it is a very different game. Well, we are coming to the end of our Valentine's special.
Indeed, the Valentine's Day massacre is all over.
It's all over.
There's been a massacre, and there was only one player left standing.
Right, so we're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid, because we are out of time. But, well, like we said, very good night's night. We had some great tournaments earlier on.
Yep. Nip and tuck.
Yeah, nip and
The
tuck.
pigs and the troughs.
Pigs and the troughs. It's been wonderful. Barry, I have to say thank you very much for you. It's been
Thank
a
you,
pleasure
Michelle.
working with you. Hope to
Indeed.
work with you again soon. Thanks to all of you that text in. Make sure you do tune in tomorrow night at 10 p.m. for another night of poker action and fun. But from Barry and I, it's good night and goodbye.